Back to the captain. One-time drop, score! Goal, Coffee!
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Morrissey again, he'll step ahead. Morrissey fires it. He blistered that one wide. Blocker side that time. He'll poke it down. Shifley steps to the goal. Shifley rips and scores.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Turn to Bouchard at the point. Still 30 seconds. One steal. And the Devils may have something growing short. Here's Connor Brown. Center pass. Tristan Jarry. Gets Tony Glass. His most spectacular save.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 599. Actually, it's 589. A little ahead of ourselves here. 589 for Thursday, January 22nd. Good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on a game day for the Edmonton Oilers when the Pittsburgh Penguins are in town at Rogers Place. Thanks so much for tuning in on your AM radio dial, on your morning drive into work, wherever you're heading out on a Thursday morning. So thankful that you're with us today. It's a little chilly out there, too, for a couple days, and then hopefully she heats up for the weekend. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like and a subscription. We would really appreciate that. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. If you miss any part of any show as well, it turns into the many podcasts out there that are on Amazon, Google, Apple, and Spotify. And, of course, we're on all the streaming services live on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even sports1440.ca. So glad that you are with us for Saul 589. Closing in on the big 600 here. Yeah, Oilers in action tonight. Pittsburgh Penguins in town. Pittsburgh beat Calgary last night by a score of 4-1. Pens are really playing well lately, are they not? They're 3-0-2 in their last 5 contests. And boy, oh boy, if you look at how they implemented their lines last night in Calgary. Now, again, game script is everything. They get up 3-1 early in the third, and then an insurance goal to make it 4-1. So that affords head coach Dan Muse to roll all 4 lines. But it was like that even before the third period and things like that. If you look at how the Pittsburgh Penguins implemented their forward lines and see what they're going to have tonight when they come to Edmonton, was pretty crazy, because a lot of people have been talking about how the Oilers are, 24, 25 minutes for Connor and Leon. And then the fourth line is 6-7 minutes. The third line gets 10 or whatever, and you figure it out from there. Well, when you look at the forward lines last night in Calgary, how Pittsburgh played it, the lowest time on ice for a player was 13:28 for the forwards. The highest was 17:14. It's quite intriguing and fascinating in the sense that, they're rolling all 4 lines, and they're going to be fresher for tonight when they come into town. Sid Crosby was right in the middle of that. He played 16 minutes and 23 seconds. So, Pittsburgh's on a back-to-back. Did that matter when New Jersey came to town for the Oilers? No, because the Oilers could not get anything going against the Devils for 40 minutes. It took them a while to get things rolling in the third period. When they finally did, they just basically ran out of time. But right now, the Penguins sitting in second spot in the Metropolitan Division with 59 points. They are 7 back of the Carolina Hurricanes for top spot in the Met. At the start of the year, what was the storyline? What was the narrative in Pittsburgh? Well, Sidney Crosby, what are they going to do with Crosby? Do you think he'd want to finish his career elsewhere because the Penguins aren't going to make the playoffs? Well, look at the Pens now, a record of 24, 14, and 11. They are smack dab right in the middle of the Met with the Islanders, who lost last night in Seattle by a score of 4-1. So we'll see rejuvenated Pittsburgh Penguin team. And man, just watching a guy like Evgeny Malkin last night, 39 years old, doesn't look like it, does he? Looked good. had a goal and an assist. Sid had an assist last night too. But the Penguins are a team that you are going to be pleasantly surprised with when you watch tonight. One of the reasons that the Penguins are so good is because of their special teams. I mean, the Oilers' power play is damn good. Everybody knows it. You know, has it looked like it normally has, obviously, with Leon Draisaitl not here. Oilers' power play is number 1, ranked in the lead. Pittsburgh is number 3. So they're right behind the Oilers. They're far behind in percentage-wise, like 5 percentage points. But Pittsburgh's PK is number 5 in the league, so they have the number 3 power play and the number 5 PK. When you add those numbers up, they are over 110%. It used to be back in the day when you added the power play percentage, penalty kill percentage. If you got to 100, you'd go, damn, we're happy. Now those numbers are changed. Those stats have changed. You want to be at 103, 104. If you're somewhere in that range, you are ecstatic about that. But Pittsburgh at 110 plus. The Oilers are at 110 plus. I believe their PKs at 80.6, power play at 32. So they're well over that threshold as well. So again, 3-0-2 in their last 5. Pittsburgh coming along. Stu Skinner played last night. That points towards all indications and directions that they go with Artie Shelovs tonight at Rogers Place. Maybe a lot of people thought that they would see a Skinner-Jarry return matchup because the two played the last time when the Oilers won 6-4, December the 16th in Pittsburgh. And if you look at how Chris Knobloch has deployed his goaltenders, it's been quite a good split here between Connor Ingram and Tristan Jarry, with Jarry playing the other night in that 2-1 loss to the Devils, where, I mean, he made the greatest save of the Oilers season so far, the old barrel roll, Billy Ranford-esque stop on Cody Glass. Maybe they go back to Connor Ingram tonight, and then we don't see at all anything, a former goalie playing his former team. Lost in all of this, though. And you got to think about how good this guy was. Brett Kulak returns for his game in Edmonton after the trade with Skinner. And I mean, what can you say about Brett Kulak and his time here with the Oilers? Well, the biggest word that you would say is dependable. Man, never missed a game. This guy was rock solid for 3.5 years. And how he played in the playoffs in the Oilers' 2 Stanley Cup runs, well, he elevated his game even more. And they felt with the, when they made the trade, and Emberson, the way he was playing, and also Alec Regula, they felt that they could put him in the package. And I mean, when you look at the numbers, goalie for goalie, 1 for 1, it's pretty fair as it is. The difference is the contract that is Stu Skinner's compared to Tristan Jarry for the next couple of years. Stu Skinner keeps playing the way he is because his goals against average is .234 and .902 in Pittsburgh for his save percentage. Stu Skinner's going to get Tristan Jarry dollar numbers and then some. But Brett Kulak, when you throw him into the trade, and let's be honest, when this trade was made, Kyle Dubas was looking, okay, we can flip Brett Kulak, because if we don't have a run here where we are a playoff team, we can flip him. We'll gain another asset as well. What would Brett Kulak get you? A 3 for sure, especially to a team that needs defensive help, defensive depth help down the stretch and moving in to the playoffs. So it'll be the return of Brett Kulak and Stu Skinner tonight. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock at Rogers Place. Elsewhere in the NHL last night, hey, it's over. The Vancouver Canucks won a game, beat Washington 4-3. Unreal. Hey, they just needed a little kick in the backside, did they not? Vancouver wins it 4-3. 40 saves for Lucas Dostal. Duke's Ducks beat Colorado 2-1 in a shootout. Colorado was probably the better team for sure, but Dostal wins one and steals one for Anaheim. That's 5 wins in a row. So you think about the Ducks where they went on a tear, then lost a whole bunch of games. Now they are 5 wins in a row. And don't look now, Oiler fans, but right now when you look at the Pacific Division standings, the Oilers have 58 points. The Ducks have 55 with a game in hand. Actually, all the teams that are fighting it out for a wild card and a Pacific Division spot won last night. Seattle beat the Islanders 4-1 as mentioned. Utah gets by Philly 5-4 in overtime. So the Utes keep her going. And then Detroit beats Toronto 2-1. They sweep the season series with the Leafs. And Detroit right now, tied with Tampa Bay for top spot in the Atlantic Division. Should mention in the NBA last night, Toronto Raptors over Sacramento, as Shaq would say, the Queens, 109. So 122-109. Scotty Barnes had 23. And how about this? So 2 wins in 2 nights for the Toronto Raptors in the Western Conference on the road. Prior to this, 2 wins in the previous 741 days for the Raptors. Road wins against Western Conference teams on the road. Quite the stat. 7-11 in Edmonton. Hey, let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne on a Thursday morning. Was there curling last night, Duke? Hockey? What time did you get to the rack finally?
No, nothing last night, Kev. I was playing catch-up. Had a extensive little rest when I arrived home after my day concluded here at the studio.
Okay, are you talking a nap, right?
That's right.
How long was this nap?
Like an hour and a half.
That's it?
That's all I need.
And then what time did you go to bed?
The standard. I think it was finished an episode of a television program, and it was just before 11 o'clock, which is good. Watch the end of watch the first couple periods, or first half, I should say, of Maple Leafs and Detroit. Yeah. Then flipped over to Ducks and Avalanche, where, as you said, the Colorado team was certainly the better one on the ice for the majority of 65 minutes, but Ducks find a way to win the 5th in a row. It was an exciting game. Lucas Astall was out of his mind.
Yeah.
The Avalanche attack, we know how prolific it can be coming at you wave after wave, but they withstood, hold on, to get the shootout victory. So that's great to see. And then, just a couple quick episodes of little TV, fall asleep, and right back at it again this morning.
Duke, so you're a little more vibrant. You had a little more pep in your step coming in here.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, as I said, Duke, you're burning the candle at both ends.
Well, Kev, I thought you're the one that told me that these are supposed to be the best years of my life, to be out there ripping, roaring around.
Not every night, Duke.
Not every night. So
you got to sometimes just take a bit of a breather.
Yeah, that was last night. Last night was my night off, and now this evening, the Critters heading out to Smoky Lake. Eddie and I on the bus, as well as
same line.
We're playing on the same line with old Silky Mitts, Ryan McRae, down the middle.
So, are you guys elevated to the top line?
No, we're second line. Top line's always AJ
Critters,
and Dan, and then the guest critter coming in from wherever we're playing.
Yeah, that I totally agree with you there, Duke. I mean, to get Eddie a goal, and we were talking about this yesterday. To get Eddie a goal, that would be something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would be. He better have a really good celly bagged and ready to go. He better.
I would like to see.
I'm just going to tell him, like, Eddie, park that back end of yours in front of the net. Get your stick on the ice, eyes up, and just be ready for a little Zach Hyman banking type action between me and Ryan. We'll be trying to put him in off any part of your body, but ideally the blade of your stick. No promises.
I would like to see Eddie try a Tiger Williams riding, the broomstick.
Oh, come on,
Selly.
Jeff.
Why not?
That would be great to see him try, but I don't think he could pull it off. How about the Tamo shoot the glove? That seems like it'd be more in Eddie's.
I'm
wheelhouse.
worried. I'm worried about Eddie tonight.
Or jump into the glass, maybe. Get the fans going.
I am worried about him tonight. Like, I'm just thinking of when he went for the wipeout in warm up.
No, he learned from that.
You think he's been working on his
left turns?
Left turns.
He's only best going to his right. So hopefully he's been working on that on the ODR. Weather's been I don't think it's been too warm. It's been above zero, obviously, but there's still been that chill in the air that I'm sure the ODRs have remained crisp enough for Eddie to get out there and put in some work. So it should be a good night in Smoky Lake. Looking forward to it. Got some pierogies and sausage waiting post game that I'm already excited for, and here we are at only 7:15 in the morning. And then the Oilers on that, I'm sure we'll get it fired up on the bus ride home to play catch up on the game.
I'm gonna miss you, but I got to be down at the game tonight to watch.
You got to be there, Kev.
Gotta watch Sid.
You have an obligation, a duty as a member of the community with journalistic integrity.
I wouldn't say that. But coming up on the big program, right after the break, we got Brandon Cristal from Guerrilla Sports covers the Denver Broncos. So we will take a look-see at the AFC Championship with the Broncos and the New England Patriots. We got Mark Spector at 8 o'clock. Check out his latest column regarding, Cal Pickard, Oilers goaltending situation on sportsnet.ca. Frankly Hockey and Victory Plus's TV. Frank Saravalli will be with us at 8:20. We had Gabe Lax from USA Today. Covers Major League Baseball. So much to break down here. The Mets making big news with Bo Bichette. They get Peralta now in a deal with Milwaukee yesterday. So the Mets trying to make some headlines, but maybe more make a splash because they're behind the 8 ball when it comes to chasing Philly and Atlanta, for that matter, in the American or in the National League East Division. Josh Yohe from The Athletic covers the Pittsburgh Penguins as well at 10 o'clock, and all in there at around 9:30. Our co-host Ladislav Schmid sliding in around 9:30. Coming up right after the break, Brandon Cristal, Guerrilla Sports, covers the Broncos on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mackenzie the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Looking for the perfect used ride? Now's the time. Drive away for as little as $25 bi-weekly. Go Auto has over 7,500 used vehicles in stock with something for everyone. From budget-friendly cars and road trip-ready SUVs to powerful work-ready trucks. With around 70 locations across Canada, your next vehicle is closer than you think. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying for the first time, we've got the right ride at the right price. But don't wait. These deals won't stick around forever. Start shopping today at goauto.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
You're at home, in the car, or on the move. You're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440.
Download the radio player
Or
iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime.
to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. Customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
They are not scared of them.
Hear that, Shorzy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season, stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot, somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the clear out on the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas continue. The Sahara package is our best seller, so hey, we've got a great selection to pick from, starting at $59,900. We're expecting them to go fast, so come in soon before they are gone at stalbertdodge.com. As we welcome in Brandon Kristoff from Gorilla Sports, covers the Denver Broncos in Mile High. Morning, Brandon. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Of course, Kevin. We don't want to talk about the Avs' recent stumbles. They'll be okay. I still think they're going to be okay. Don't worry about them. They're going to be fine.
You know, it's funny because the producer you were just talking to, Brandon, is a massive Ducks fan. And to see the Ducks beat the Avs 2-1 in the shootout last night, he was coming in here on cloud nine. But by all accounts, the Avs were the better team last night, and Lucas Dostal stole one for Anaheim. But maybe we'll touch on the Colorado Avalanche a little bit later.
We can do it another time. They're going to be relevant, I think, through May and likely through June.
Yeah, no question about that. Big game, obviously, this Sunday, AFC Championship. The Pats have never won in Denver in the postseason, but Jared Stidham's going. Great comments from the head coach saying he's going to rip it. Is Stidham going to be able to rip it come Sunday, Brandon?
Well, I think he has the physical tools, and I saw some metrics yesterday that I thought were interesting. I don't do a lot of digging into advanced analytics myself. Thankfully, plenty of people have made that their thing, especially online. And the offensive line, we know the Chargers have been bad because both their tackles have been out all year. And for as good as the Texans' defense is, they probably in training camp didn't get the best look from their number one offense, because both the offensive lines that the Patriots defense has faced are just rated really poorly compared to everyone else. You know, in the 30s, if you will, in terms of their run blocking, pass block win rate, all of that. And the Broncos have perhaps the best offensive line with 2 of the 5 first-team All-Pro players, with the left tackle and Garrett Bowles, who's had an amazing story and rise in his career, but in his 9th year to make his first All-Pro is obviously an accomplishment. And Quinn Miners is the best right guard in football. Once Zach Martin retired from the Cowboys. Now, that doesn't mean that Jarrett Stidham is going to go out and throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm not saying he won't, but I don't think that the Patriots will beat him up the way they were able to get to C.J. Stroud, who obviously had a rough day last week in Foxborough. And Stidham certainly has the arm strength. He has the confidence. He's got some pieces around him. If J.K. Dobbins is back, I think that gives him something on the field. But I think it also just provides a comfort level in terms of his pass blocking, and maybe even perhaps a decoy, because you're not going to put a guy that hasn't played in 6-7 weeks out there and hand him the ball 20 times or have him play 50 snaps, but having him out there for 10 or 15 plays might help keep the Patriots defense honest. And yeah, Christian Gonzalez is really good on the back end, but I don't think that they're going to shy away from letting it rip, as Coach Payton put it yesterday.
What percentage, Brandon, would you put that J.K. Dobbins does play this Sunday?
Probably a little less than 50, although talking to somebody really close to him, he thought he was ready to go last week. It's my understanding that they want him back, and so they don't want to rush him. And I say want him back because he's on a 1-year deal, because he's just obviously dealt with injuries all those years in Baltimore. And even though he had a great year for the Chargers, he still missed 4 games a year ago or 2 seasons ago. So they don't want to ruin a long-term investment. Was kind of, they're just playing it safe. But then when Bo Nix goes down, I think they at least have to adjust their thinking. If he feels good and his foot's responding all week in practice, then I think that they're going to have to take the bubble wrap off and let him go.
Yeah. You mentioned the backfield and Harvey and McLaughlin. I mean, what's your assessment of how they've been playing recently? I mean, Harvey being the rookie, still, trying to find his way, I think, at times in pass pro and things like that. But what's your assessment of those two guys if they have to kind of carry the load come Sunday against the Pats?
Well, I think the load has to be increased is the biggest issue. The biggest problem for both of them is Sean Payton. And I guess there's a scenario where Bo Nix has checked out of runs, maybe. So, but even that being said, that's still on Sean and on that offensive staff if they have a run that can check to a pass that easily. Because the Broncos had 22 carries, which I guess technically they had 20 carries that were by Bo Nix, or 21 because the designed run that he got hurt on taking a knee isn't. So 11 carries for Bo, 10 for the running backs. And, you know, I guess I have to go back and look where any of those pass plays that he turned into run plays. But in general, 10 carries for a single running back, let alone really a trio, because they like Tyler Bidet in the run game a little bit as well. But for your backfield, you're not going to win too many games like that. They obviously won the other day, but both threw it 40, 45 times and then ran it another 10, 11 himself. And the running backs as a collective only get you 10 carries. That's just not a great recipe. And I understand that you are going to play the game that's in front of you, but I feel like, you know, you go back to a year ago in LA on that Thursday night game where we could see as clear as day, Sean Payton wrote run it on the top of his play call sheet. And he mentioned that he has run it on his play call sheet again. Now it's not as big, but he clearly didn't rely on that the other day. And the crazy thing is that the Bills are susceptible on the edge to the run, but you have to take advantage of that by actually running. And I know there were a couple other designed runs for Bo. There was one that got stuffed early in the game as well. I want to say in the early second quarter, but you have to be committed to it because it does keep the defense a little more honest, and you've got to give your running backs a chance to get going. But I mean, Harvey found the end zone 12 times. They threw him the ball a couple times last week, and he made guys miss, and obviously had two big runs after the catch, especially the one in overtime for 24 yards. So it's hard to fault the players when they aren't getting the opportunity.
Brandon Cristal from Gorilla Sports, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. For Stidham again, and I just want to revisit him. What do you think the biggest obstacles for him that he's going to have to conquer here after not playing for such a long time and you know, in such a big stage? What's going to be the toughest thing for him to overcome, you think?
I think it's going to be, as silly as it sounds, just getting out there and playing and having a feel for the game, because he understands the offense as well as Bo Nix does, if not better, and he processes really, really fast, and that maybe he's ahead of Bo there as well, or in the same ballpark. But no matter how well you play in practice, or even what you did in the preseason, he looked really good in the preseason. The live reps and live bullets, so to speak, that he'll see on Sunday, and the disguises, even if he knows exactly where a blitz might be coming from, or that they're in zone on one side and man on the other, you still then have to make the throw. And there's going to be defenders in the way, and your receivers have to help you out. And obviously your O-line has to give you a clean enough look, because I think City, as everybody calls him, but that's kind of what we've all called him since he's been here. I think he is more athletic than people realize, but he's not the athlete that Bo Nix and Drake May are in terms of using their legs to go get yards and to escape. He was the number one dual threat quarterback coming out of high school, ahead of Kyler Murray in Stephenville, or out of Stephenville, Texas, about a decade ago. And Sean Payton joked yesterday he didn't know that, but that the profile isn't the same as Bo or Drake. And so it's just the adjustment to playing in live game action. I don't think the stakes or the magnitude of the game will affect the way he plays. I think if he did this in week 10 or 11, he would still have that same concern. It's just, you can't prepare for a live game no matter how much you try to simulate it. And they say they practice hard in Denver because Sean Payton's old school like that, but they still weren't in pads yesterday, and they're not going to be in pads. So that's silly to do at this point of the year when you're trying to keep everybody healthy and get ready for this game. And so I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle for him to have to get over. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. If he doesn't, then the Pats are definitely going to San Francisco. If he does, I think it becomes a much more interesting game on Sunday. Yeah, no kidding. You mentioned the line in front of him, Brandon, and the likes of Garrett Bowles at tackle. Alex Forsyth left the game on the Bills game with an ankle injury, I think. Is he okay? What's his status for the weekend? Yeah, he was limited in practice yesterday, but the fact that he came back, and they talked about a fortunate signing. Sam Mustipher, who had been around the team all last year, I guess he was with the team. He had been with the Chargers, but was on their practice squad. They were able to sign him before that Chargers game. I think it was less about the Chargers and more about just depth, because Wattenberg had gone down. Maybe they signed him even a little bit before that, but right after Wattenberg went down, they put Wattenberg on IR, And they said that was more procedural and that he'd be back. So Wattenberg's practice window opened just like J.K. Dobbins. And the real question is, if Wattenberg's healthy, who's been your center all year, does he jump ahead of Forsyth? Because Forsyth is a guy that obviously Bo Nix played with for a year at Oregon. He's a smart player, but Wattenberg beat him out for the job last year. And then you gave Wattenberg a 4-year, $48 million deal. So if you feel good, because you're not going to rotate centers. You can rotate guards, but you're not rotating centers if you can help it. And so if Forsyth's ankle is okay, but Wattenberg is feeling 100%, I think that it's an interesting conversation.
Let's talk a little defense now with you, Brandon. And whenever we have guests on from Denver and talking about the Broncos, it always circles back to Alex Singleton because he played in the CFL up here. So we know a lot about him. We know, his career and, what he went through this year, obviously with testicular cancer and the early detection. He had a great game last week, but just your thoughts on what Singleton has meant to this defense.
So Alex has been, I think, awesome when he's been on the field, and he was a little banged up. Obviously, I said banged up. I mean, he missed time. That's not even fair to call it that. But, he had to miss a couple of games because of the testicular cancer diagnosis. And I think that probably did two things. You get past the initial scare of, you hear the word cancer, especially for a 30-year-old, and who just had their first kid last year right after the Super Bowl. And so once you get past that, most players aren't going to get a couple weeks off later in the year unless they're really hurt. And I remember, it's interesting because Pat Bryant's now had 2 concussions in less than a month, a young rookie wide receiver, but he was visibly frustrated. I'm veering a little. When he left the field, I was down on the field helping Westwood One, the national radio broadcast, and he was like, man, I have to go in the tent. Like, that was sort of, he wasn't a guy whose belt had been rung, to the level where he's woozy like a boxer, like Tua, every time we see him getting shoot like Pat Bryant when he got that concussion a few weeks ago and was taken off on a stretcher. It wasn't one of those, but the doctors, I think, out of an abundance of caution, say you had the last one December 21st against the Jaguars at that point, and then you're back and you get another one on December or January 17th. But so then he was on the field, got the extra day. He looked okay. But going back to Wes Welker, Wes had 2 in a month and then had to miss a month. And when he came back, it was, and this was not Wes Welker's first concussion, obviously, or first couple. I talked to him. He's like, I feel better than I've ever felt. Because once you get past those symptoms, if they aren't severe, your body gets to heal up. And so I think for Alex, maybe he had a little bit of that. But he was one of the 2 guys that when Vance Joseph got here, he wanted Justin Simmons back to help on the back end and to be a vet in the room. And obviously Vance had coached him when he was the head coach, and he wanted Alex Singleton back. And they gave Alex that 3-year, $21 million deal, I think, or $18 million deal. And Alex, we know what he is and we know what he isn't. And he's not the best in coverage, but he gets sideline to sideline. He's always going to be close to your leading tackler. And we saw the other day that even James Cook, the leading rusher in the NFL, they had no problem not even getting to him on a big play, but Alex kind of spiking him, getting his head on the ball and knocking him out. And so as disappointing as has been Dre Greenlaw's health with his quad and missing a good chunk of the year with that, and then with a hamstring injury, Alex has been really consistent in the middle. And my favorite Alex Singleton story is that his brother, because they obviously grew up in Southern California, his brother is such a big Raiders fan that when they play the Raiders, he wears his CFL jersey with a Raiders t-shirt underneath it. He won't wear anything Broncos, even to support his brother, because of how much he loves the Raiders. But no, Alex has been so, especially for a defense that has so many other people that get recognition when you've got the reigning defensive player of the year, and just for show, Nick Benito is a defensive player of the year nominee. We know Myles Garrett's going to win that award, but he'll be one of the 4 people there at the award show at NFL Honors in a few weeks. And the guys getting to the quarterback and the guys on the back end, and Hufanga, an all-pro. But Alex Singleton is as big a key to that defense and has played really well a good chunk of the year. They had their struggles in the run game a little bit last week, but Josh Allen, I think, will allow that to happen from time to time, not just when he's running the ball, but obviously because he need so much attention.
Yeah, great story with Singleton's brother. I hadn't heard that one before. Brandon Kritzall from Gorilla Sports, our guest on Sports 1440. How do you think the chess match goes between the two head coaches here in Vrabel and Peyton, Brandon?
Well, it's obviously you have to see the way the Pats are going to try to attack Jarrett Stidham, but I look at it on the other side, and so in some ways it's a chess match between former Broncos head coach Josh McDaniels and former Broncos head coach Vance Joseph. And I actually asked Sean Payton yesterday, when we talk about offensive play callers and quote unquote geniuses or creative play callers or trendsetters, we always talk about, of course, Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, and we certainly give plenty of respect to Andy Reid and Sean Payton, and maybe guys that worked for, they all kind of worked for Mike Shanahan, but for Kyle and Sean McVay along the way, a guy like Mike McDaniel, and we don't bring up Josh McDaniel's name enough. And Josh is a failed head coach, both here and then just recently in Vegas, and he didn't have a good run as the offensive coordinator in St. Louis with Steve Spagnuolo back in the day, but he had Sam Bradford, I think, at the end of getting beaten up for a few years. And so I'm not really gonna give Josh too much of a hard time there. But when he's been in New England, he did have Tom Brady, okay, but they didn't always have Randy Moss and Wes Welker. And I know Julian Edelman was a heck of a player, and obviously had Gronk, but Josh was still the one calling those offenses for a good chunk of it, certainly for most, if not all, of those second set of Super Bowls. And so yesterday, Sean was really quick to or reinforce how when he's looking around the league, Josh is one of the guys that he steals from. Sean McVay has a great line. He's like, you borrow from the ones you like, you love from, you steal from the ones you love. And because he said that to me when Sean Payton was coming back into the league after a year off. And he's like, Sean Payton's the guy that I steal from every week. I flip on the tape to see what he did. I think Josh McDaniels is in that group. He just isn't talked about because he's kind of one of one. Bill Belichick doesn't have a bunch of offensive coordinators off of his quote unquote tree. And that's kind of really the only place Josh has worked when he wasn't working for himself, or the year and a half with Spags, whatever that was, a couple of years there. And I don't remember exactly how long he was in St. Louis, but so Josh against Vance and Drake May, we started talking about the O-line and what the Pats D have seen. Well, the Pats offense and Will Campbell, a rookie left tackle who looked like a rookie last week, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are certified bad dudes, but the Broncos have a bunch of them, not just Benito and Cooper on the edge. Zach Allen, the all-pro for a second straight year, leading the league in quarterback pressures from a guy inside and quarterback hits, and John Franklin Myers opposite of him. They're going to get after Drake May. And so if they expose Drake, a relatively normal amount, 30 plus dropbacks and a couple of run plays, the Broncos are violent. We saw it the other day, going back to that Alex Singleton play, and Hufanga with a big hit on Kincaid. They're going to get after it. They might be vulnerable to a big play on the edge, or even sometimes a pass catcher will get behind them because Hufanga is maybe overly aggressive, but they're going to get after it. And so I think that's going to be the matchup that's the most interesting. It certainly stands to reason that the defense trying to attack Stidham is something you need to worry about. And so then does Sean Payton rely on his run game and his defense to keep it close? I think in a game like this, knowing the Patriots' capabilities, they don't have the best set of pass catchers, but they certainly are capable. And they have two, I think, really good running backs, two essentially frontline running backs. The Broncos can't sit around and plan to win the game 17 to 13. They need to plan on winning the game 30 to 27. And so because of that, they're going to have to, as John said, going back to, like you mentioned, Kevin, let it rip. And so I think that's kind of the chess match. But if the Broncos can get out early, then you're going to get that confidence. And if you can build on that and find ways to get into the end zone and the red zone, especially if they could go down on an opening drive, whether that's taking the ball right off the kickoff, depending on how the coin flip goes, or when the first time they get it, and Stidham can punch it in with a touchdown pass that isn't just, a little dump off to the running back who makes a move, makes two guys miss and scores from the 4-yard line, but makes a real touchdown pass that he helps create with his arm. I think that will give the team the confidence that they tell us they have in Stidham. It'll give Stidham the confidence that I think he needs to obviously get through a game like this. And then, I think all bets are off. And especially if people are betting on it and the line was sitting around 5.5 at last check, it feels like that feels like good money. And if you're going to get a bet on props, couple things, 192 yards, the weather, it's not going to be snowy. It's going to be colder than we expected, but it's probably going to be sunny. And the game's an hour earlier than they ever have a game here, hour and a half earlier, because it's just how the TV schedule works. Same thing happened in 13 and 15. Every year they flip-flop who goes early, who goes late. And in the odd years, AFC is the early game. Yeah, we don't kick games at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. We kick them at 2:05 and 2:30 and 2:25, 2:30 last week, or obviously night games. And so it's going to be whatever sun is available that day, it'll be out likely at that point. And so I think that'll give Stidham a chance to let it, let it go a little bit, air it out. Yeah, let it rip. And so I'm excited. Oh, but so he every time he's played all 4 of his games, he ran for more than 30 yards. His rushing prop is 13. Ooh. So I think the 192 passing and the 13 rushing yards, yeah, he's not Bo Nix. There's not going to be a lot of designed runs. But what I do think you'll get from Stidham, that Bo is reluctant this year. Bo wants to let it rip himself. So a lot of rollouts where Bo had easy first downs, he flips it down the field. I remember at the Jets game in New York, or in London rather, I asked Sean Payton Astor, because they didn't obviously play great offensively. I said, do you talk to Bo about running the ball or encouraging? He goes, I never talk to him. He goes, we never talk about running the ball. He was like very adamant. He goes, I trust him to make the right play. And a quarterback wants more passing yards most of the time. He's not trying to be Michael Vick or a young Lamar Jackson or even Josh Allen, Cam Newton. Not that you don't take the yards. I think Stiddy will take the yards, because it's going to be moving the sticks, and it'll be, okay, 3rd and 4. I'm going to go get 4.5. And so because of that, I love the rushing yards over 13. I may bet it over 20 just for fun.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a decent look at that one. I can tell you, Brandon, there are a lot of Denver Bronco fans in Edmonton because of Pat Bolin, who was from here, played a junior football here, took Freddie Fleming down with them. I see Fred all the time. I get to see Fred because he no longer with the organization, retired. But Fred lives literally behind my friend, my friend's house, and we play cards there every Tuesday. And so I may not play every Tuesday, but I probably see Fred either walking around the neighborhood over there or in the garage getting a workout in at 80-something years old. I think pushing 90. Fred is still a guy that you don't want to mess with. He is a unique character. Well, but I get why the Broncos ties run deep there in Edmonton. Please pass on a hello from a lot of us up here. I ended up working with Fred's son in Calgary 28, 29 years ago when we worked at a TV station together, Kevin. So please pass on a hello when you see Fred if you do. Brandon, thanks so much for the insight. Excellent insight. We're going to look forward to this game on Sunday. And you know what? We'll probably end up talking about the Avs and the Oilers in a couple months. Really appreciate you coming on. Well, here, if the ball's bounced away, the Broncos fans in Broncos country, which we know does extend into Edmonton, and they're smiling on Sunday and get a win, then I'd be happy to talk to you. It's going to be very busy, but in a couple of weeks from Santa Clara or from San Francisco. We're all in for that. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Kevin. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the games. You betcha. You too. Brandon Kristoff from Gorilla Sports covers the Denver Broncos. Man, excellent insight. What a cool story that again, he's playing cards with his buddies, and Freddie Fleming used to do broadcast work here in Edmonton with the Eskimos, with Brian Hall, very close friends with Pat Bolin, who bought the Denver Broncos years ago, obviously, and then took Freddie down there. And I mean, there were so many people that have done and bought auction item packages and have gone down and over the years, and we're talking for years and years, and even not even auction items. If you were in Denver and you phoned up the Broncos and you were from Edmonton and said, Fred Fleming around, is there a chance that he could take us on a little sideline tour, locker room tour? It was done in a second. So what a neat story. What a great connection that Brandon Kristoff has with Fred Fleming there. That was the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where again, the clear out on the remaining Jeep Wranglers continue. The Saharas all at $59,900. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts at 833-401-1440. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick and Mackenzie the intern too on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help, and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
The Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers.
Thanks for checking in
with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:48 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us on a Thursday morning here in the City of Champions and surrounding area. Again, a little nippy today and tomorrow. Pittsburgh Penguins in town. So wear your woolies to the game tonight and tomorrow. Again, a little colder when it's compared to what we've had in the last little bit, but chilly for Saturday as well. But we sort of turned the corner for next week where it's not into the teens, and we're looking at, I think, a low tonight of minus 23 to 25, something like that. So she's going to be cold heading down to the rink for sure. That was an interesting conversation that we just had with Brandon Crystal. And I mean, it's so cool when he's talking about Fred Fleming and he's playing cards and working out in the garage and things like that. Amazing stories. So, and really good point that he makes here. And I asked him about Vrabel and Peyton. He says, whoa, let's look at it a little deeper here. Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, and then Josh McDaniel, the offensive coordinator in New England. So that's maybe where the matchup is a little higher, a little more intricate than what you could say what the head coaches are doing chess-wise and moving the pieces around the board. When you got, a pretty good coordinator in both with head coaching abilities and capabilities, and probably probabilities down the road again for both of these guys in Joseph and McDaniel. They both gave it a whirl already as head men, but now maybe it's better fit for them where they are, a DC or an OC. Third time that Denver's hosted New England in the AFC Championship. And hey, again, as we said off the top of that interview, the Pats have never won in Denver in the postseason. Not one. Interesting stats that have been flying around for a while when you talk about the NFC Championship. And again, the game times, that's another point that Brandon made. So normally they're kicking off local time 2:30, maybe a little after 2. This is a little different, 1 o'clock kickoff. So does that help the Broncos? You know, if the Pats are not coming in till Saturday, you would think you would come in on a Friday, man. They're not coming in until a Saturday. That's going to be a little different for the Patriots as well. But when you look at the stats, and for the second game between the Rams and Seahawks, again, that kickoff is 4:30 our time. It's 1 o'clock Pats and Broncos in the AFC. When you look at the stats in the NFC Championship, I mean, there are some interesting numbers that have been banding about. Head-to-head in the last 2 seasons. So we're looking at 4 matchups. LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks. The Rams have 109 points. The Seahawks have 107. The Rams have 1,599 yards of offense. The Seahawks have 1,589. So the Rams have 2 more points, 10 more yards. The two teams split the meetings 2-2. Let me ask the Duke of Delburne about that. Can you get closer? I believe this spread is going to be, is it 1.5, Duke?
It is at the moment.
2.5 or 1.5?
Just deleted it as I was trying.
Oh, did you? And it was 5.5 for the Pats, right? Going in.
I got 2.5 Seattle at home and 4.5 right now for New England on the road at Mile High.
So that changed a little bit because even Brandon was saying that it was 5.5 last he saw. So 2.5, and that's Seattle, right?
In Seattle, right? Yeah, the 2-1 seeds hosting conference championship weekend.
Yeah, but it's not. The Pats are favored by 4.5, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and Seattle's favored by 2.5.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll have to do a couple of picks here, Duke, tomorrow.
Yes, we will. Can you close the gap, Kev?
No, I don't care. I need to get a couple on Old Man Baker. That's all I care about.
Okay, sure.
Just need to get a couple on Old Man Baker. We were talking about Eddie Steele with his celebration. Greater Man Jay texts in at 833-401-1440. Morning, boys. I used to ride the broomstick. It really used to upset people, especially in my later years of hockey. Yeah. The most famous broomstick celebration would have to be Tiger Williams. Would you say that, Duke? Do you remember Tiger?
Yeah, I would think so.
More so. Well, I mean,
I'll be honest. I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody else actually ride the stick.
Really?
In a real game. It's that's the type of celebration that you better have the stones to answer the bell when the next shift comes around, because that's about, if you talk about like rubbing it in an opponent's face or something, that's preposterous. I love it. Hey, like no hard feelings for me personally, but I don't think opponents, as Greater Man Jay's text would indicate, take too kindly to that type of celebration.
I have to tell you one celebration. It was an old friend. He's still kicking. Morley Watson was his name. He ended up to be a chief for the Federation of Saskatchewan Indians Nations, Duke. He stayed at our house as a billet in the 70s. And he was playing in Melville, and they went to play in Regina against, there was a team called the Regina Silver Foxes, I think. This is a long time ago, Duke, but they played it in it was called the Regina Exhibition Stadium. Think of it, this would be like the Edmonton Gardens and things like that. It's way, way past your time, my time even. But they had rafters and sort of the beams that were there. And Morley Watson scored a goal, and he threw his gloves in the air. And one of the gloves landed on the rafters. And back then they had big ladders to change the light bulbs. So, and we're talking like big ladders. Yes. So they had to bring the ladder out in the middle of the game and get the glove off of the rafter so the game could continue. And dust falling all over,
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
all that.
Yeah, I doubt they're up there with the vacuum cleaner on a game-to-game basis. I would doubt.
Greater Man says, yes, I had to answer the bell many times for that celebration. Jerry says that didn't Mike Foligno do it as well, if I remember? Mike Foligno, old Buffalo Sabre, Maple Leaf, the father of all the kids in the NHL. James, serious text here, though. Hey, KK, there's an accident in the intersection of 95th Ave, 170th Street, southbound, blocking both left-hand turn lanes going east. EMS has just arrived. Thanks for that, James. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet, followed by Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Loca Quality Market. And you know what? Every fresh, chef-crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients, and it arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to heat. Eat and repeat. Order at meals.loca.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
6 games across the NHL last night. The Red Wings get an OT winner from Matt Larkin to beat the Maple Leafs 2-1. The Ducks top the Avalanche 2-1 in a shootout. Mammoth battle back to top the Flyers 5-4 in extra time. Penguins beat the Flames 4-1. Islanders follow the Kraken 4-1. And the Nightcap Canucks snapped their losing skid with a 4-3 win over the Capitals. Buffalo Sabres taking care of some off-ice business. They signed forward Josh Doan to a 7-year extension that'll carry a cap hit of $6.95 million per season. Doan, 23 years old, 49 games this season, currently setting career highs with 15 goals and 20 assists. Lone game on the PWHL schedule. Marie-Philou playing with the OT winner. Montreal beat Minnesota 2-1. And in the association, the Raptors pick up a second straight win. This one over Sacramento, 122-109. Elsewhere, Boston beating Indiana 119-104. And SGA with 40 points as the Thunder top Milwaukee 122-102. MLB off-season continues with a busy week of action. The Mets bring in frontline starting pitcher Peralta from the Brewers last night in exchange, along with right-hander Toby Myers, in exchange for Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams, 2 of the Mets' top prospects. And just coming across, the NFL, AP MVP finalists have been announced. Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Stafford, and Christian McCaffrey. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. I'm Brennan Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Calamont Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8 o'clock in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, Mackenzie the intern with you here on a Thursday morning at Sports 1440 AM in our studios here at West Edmonton Mall. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. It is now time for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Mike and the crew would sure like to thank you for all the support in 2025, even though it is 2026. Keep in mind that there are tons of sales, huge savings on all the remaining 2025s in stock. You can save now at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
Just watching Bo Bichette get announced in City Field in New York. Looking out over that field, thinking, man, they sure lose a lot here.
Well, he said, I came here because I want to win. Well, I think you had a better chance to win where you were. No, pal?
Should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
But, no, I mean, the Jays, with the additions that they made, they're probably more favored to win than where the Mets are right now. Although the Mets picked up Freddie Peralta too, Spec, last night. That's an ace. That's massive for them last night. So
the Mets compete like they do. They've got the financial wherewithal. They got a big, rich owner. They've been the Yankees' little brother since it came into baseball in the 60s, but they try. Yeah. They just don't succeed that often. That's all.
Man,
when they do succeed, it goes through the first baseman's legs.
Oh boy. Well, you know what? That was like, that helped them, right? Billy Buckner.
Yeah, that helped them. That's right.
That was
that hit the ball. Did Mookie Wilson hit that ball?
Who came around to score? Mookie hit the ball and it went through the legs of Buckner.
Yeah.
And then I believe, was it Ray Knight that scored?
I think it was Ray Knight that scored. Yeah.
And then that was only game 6 because they had to win another.
They did win game 7, right?
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know how many World Series the Mets have. I really don't, not many, 2 or 3.
They won in 69.
Yeah, they won the Miracle Mets, and then they won that one. And geez, have they won another?
Well, I remember Casey Stengel went over to manage them from the Yankees.
Okay.
Just twice. That's all they've won. They never won before 69, Spec. So just 69. They beat the Orioles. And they were the Miracle. Or a lot of people, the Mets fans called them more the Amazins. The Amazing.
The Amazing Mets. That's right. They came back on my Cubs. I was only 4 years old, but I was still sour.
Oh, really? Yeah. And beat the Baltimore Orioles. And then in 86 came back to beat the Red Sox. Yeah.
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 So what do you think? What's going on in town tonight? Got anything happening?
Pardon me?
Got anything happening in town tonight?
Well, yeah. Don't the Oilers play the Pens?
Trying to get you on track there, Kev. That's all.
Oh, come on now, Spec. We got lots of time. We got lots of things. We got time we haven't even spent yet, Spec. And, so, hey, before we get to tonight, you had the article with Cal Pickard, and I thought Cal's comments are bang on. It sucks. He doesn't want to be in this position, but he could have played better himself earlier in the year, not to be put in this position either.
I suppose. Really, he's the backup. The team was playing lousy the start of the year. He wasn't great for sure, but listen. They were eventually going to trade Stu Skinner for another number 1, and they did that. There's nothing he can do about that. And in the meantime, they signed this Ingram cat, and he gets his chance, which, when Jari goes down, and Pickard can't do anything about that. And he's been so good. He's played right past Pickard in the nets, and Pickard can't really do anything about that because now he's not even playing. So, listen, he's a guy that's been a good company man and a good player, for a backup goalie. They don't beat Vancouver 2 years ago if Pickard doesn't come in and steady the ship, and I'm not sure they do against LA last year either. Yeah. So he's done everything you ask of them, and I get it. Your team's trying to get better. You need better goaltending. And if I was Knobloch or Bowman, I'd be doing the exact same thing that they're doing. But it is a bit of a kick in the pants for a good company man that's been around a long time. That's, if he's on his way out, if he's not out of the picture already.
The thing is, out of all, you mentioned company man, out of all the guys that can handle this and that you want to handle it, and you still want him here, and you know that he's not going to be disruptive, he's not going to throw a wrench into things, it's Cal Pickard. Figure this thing out in 5 weeks, Spec, right? You've got all the way till the 23rd of February after the break. So figure it out in the 5 weeks here.
Yeah, like when they leave for California on that Monday after the Olympic break, are they bringing 3 goalies with them?
Well, they might bring 3, and one might be going to Baco if he doesn't get claimed.
Yeah, that could be. So, hey, listen, sports is tough. I mean, he's making $1 million, so that's good. You like that part. But as he said, I'm an older guy. I'm on a cheaper contract. I'm on a shorter contract. The GM is always kind of looking into the future, like, okay, what are we going to do here? And unfortunately for Pickard, the GM's found 2 pretty good goalies.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's a practice goalie now is what he is, and doesn't get to play in the games. And listen, when you've been around this team and you've been to 2 cups with him, I get it. He said it's painful. It hurts. I don't like it. I'm not having any fun at it. I'm just trying to keep my head up and not, he doesn't want to be a sour Johnny Dark Cloud in the room. That doesn't work either. So you don't have to disagree with the move the Oilers are making, but I think there's probably some room to feel a little bit for the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we might not even see the 2 goalies that were traded tonight. We might not see Jarry. Maybe Ingram goes. Stu Skinner played last night. The one guy I want to talk about that no one talks about, seems to forget in this trade, is Brett Kulak. Hell of a defenseman for 3.5 seasons. You never missed a game, Spec. Reliable. Upped his game in the playoffs. Very valuable to this team when he was on the blue line here.
Well, and I think, we'd always talk about when a GM has to make a move out of sort of desperation. Like Pittsburgh didn't have to make this trade. They could have hung on to Jarry, right? Everyone in the league knew that Stan Bowman was looking to change out his goalies for about a year. Like he'd been in the market, for sure since the cup ended and before that even. So that's what, I think Jarry's better than Skinner for what I've seen so far. I like Jarry better. I don't think he's Brett Kulak and a 2nd round pick better, right?
That's
I think Bowman got taken to the cleaners a little, and he didn't get the wool pulled over his eyes, but he's making a trade from a position of weakness, and he had to give up more. And that's plus there were salary cap issues, and it turned into Brett Kulak. And one thing I know, and I've been told this more than once, the Oilers did not go into the trade market thinking, oh boy, let's get rid of Brett Kulak. Quite the opposite. But that's how it turned out. And, now you're hoping with Stastny and Emberson and Regula, can you make it up? Or when the trade deadline comes, Kev, are you out there looking for another Brett Kulak? I'm not sure you're not going to be.
And the whole thing, too, is money was the major factor here, Spec. And when you look at Tristan Jarry moving forward, for the next 2 years, what the number is. You know that you have him at 5.375. Stu Skinner, if he keeps playing like he has been, because he's 2.34 goals against and a 902 save percentage in Pittsburgh, he keeps playing like this, Spec, he's going to command that number and even more next year.
He's going to get more than that. Listen, and that's sort of what we never talk about that the Oilers got back. What's Jarry making?
5.375 and 2 more years after this year.
Right. So 2 more years at 5.4, let's say, for a starting goalie that we're going to say for now, you're happy with his play. He's certainly giving you pretty good numbers here. Obviously health is an issue, but assuming he stays healthy, like we do with all players, if my starting goalie is good and I can win with him and he only makes 5.4, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
Stu Skinner is going to start at least with 6. Find me another goalie who's been to 2 cups in a row. Find me another goalie that's won 6 playoff rounds in the last 2 years, right? His name's Sergei Bobrovsky, and he makes 10. Yeah. So, if I'm Stu Skinner's agent, I'm not making 5.4 in this next deal. Now, you got to find someone who'll give it to you, and I get that. But if he comes into Pittsburgh and shows that on his second team, his game is good, and if he can keep it up over 900, which is excellent in today's game, he's going to make more than 5.4 next summer, I would say.
Yeah. Hey, just on the subject of Oilers goaltenders, and again, when you're looking to the future, and you talked about that with Cal, and again, this is a guy that has given his heart and soul to the organization. Maybe it is coming to a close, but with Connor Ingram, could you play that card? Would you play that card if you're Stan Bowman and say, Connor, you know what? We gave you a chance in this organization when you probably weren't getting another chance anywhere else. You've played well for us. Would you be interested in signing a 2-year contract extension? At what number would you go? Would you say 2 million? Would you say, because he's at 1.1 right now, would you be able to get that done? And now you've got 2 goalies for a couple of years that you're happy with, and you've got basically both of them at what, 7.5? If you get him at 2.2, call it.
Well, so he actually makes, what does he make?
He's 1.1 here, but then Utah's
800
paid another million, right?
So he's making 1.9. He's a $1.9 million goalie, correct?
I think it's a little over than that spec. So he's 1.1 that the Oilers are paying for him, and then I think Utah is on the hook for about $1 million. I'll check that for sure now.
Let's call it $2 million. I think I thought they were on for like 825 or something. So just for fun, he's $2 million, let's say.
800. You're correct. It's 800.
It's 800. So he's 1.9. I'm going to say 2 because I'm not very smart.
Yeah.
He's got 1 year left, so you can't do anything until July 1st, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So come July 1st, that means Connor Ingram has the rest of the season in the playoffs to show me what he's got. I mean, listen, it can go 2 ways. I always like to think of it as the agent. Hey, if I'm the team and Connor Ingram, I mean, my goodness, if he keeps, he's got a 917. If he comes out the rest of this season with something around 910, you're not getting him for $2 million. 910 goalies don't go for $2 million.
I'm not waiting till then, Spec. I'm saying, you know what?
Well, you have to wait till then. You can't sign until July 1st.
Why?
Because he's got a year. You can't sign until July 1st of the last year of the guy's contract. Remember McDavid? Right? You can't. If he's got a year left, you can't sign until July 1st.
You can extend him. No, am I out to lunch here? You can
extend him, but not until July 1st. With 1 year left in your deal, you can then extend him. They cannot extend him until July 1st. But he's a guy that doesn't remember much from the CBA. I remember that. Well, that's why McDavid. That's why we waited till July 1st, and everyone was freaking out that they weren't signing him. Remember?
But he had another year left, Connor McDavid.
I know, and so does Connor Ingram.
No, he's done at the end of this year, Spec.
No, I thought he had 1 more year. That's my point.
No. He's done at the end of this year.
Okay, well, that's where our disconnect is. I thought he had another year left.
No, he's done at the end of this.
That completely changes it. That completely changes it.
That's what I'm saying. You say to him here, maybe around after the Olympic break, and you go, here's, I don't know, call it 2.1, whatever he's making, because he's making 1.95 right now, technically. And you say to him, Connor, here's a 2-year deal, 2 times 2. Does he bite? Does he take it, or does he wait?
That's a very good question. I think that he likes being here. I think he's pretty, he's pretty happy being closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure that his agent would. It's in this particular signing. If I'm his agent, I'm looking at his numbers. I'd say, oh, we don't need to sign that.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing to July 1st because look at our numbers. Look at his past history. He was a 907 goalie in Arizona. Let's say he's another 907, 908 here. 2 million is not enough, but the player may have another bit to say about it. I don't think you're getting if he stays up over 905, you're not getting it for $2 million, Kev.
I'm in on that too, Spec. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you offer him here sooner than later, and you're hoping for something that he does down the stretch, and who knows, maybe into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a gamble. I think he's, his time in the NHLPA program isn't that far in the rearview mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That you would look at the player, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think you look at the player, or the player even looks in the mirror and says, well, that's all behind me, I'm done with that. I think every day is a little still, he's working through it. And I think maybe there's a period of time that needs to pass too before you say, okay, we're ready to put that in the rearview mirror. So listen, all I know is, like I wrote this the other day, how much better at this point is a Jari Ingram tandem than a year ago today when you had Skinner Pickard?
Mhm.
Is it 15% better? Right. And is that 15 or 20%, whatever it is, is that enough to get you over the top? Would that have put a Stanley Cup banner in your rafters instead of a Western Conference champion banner in your rafters? Right. I don't know.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Hey, quick one, Spec. The Duke and Eddie Steele are on a line together tonight as the Critters go up north to Smoky Lake. Duke says he's going to set up Eddie for a goal, and Eddie is apparently going to do the ride the broomstick celebration if he scores tonight.
At center ice. Don't fall off the broomstick. It's a bad act. It wrecks the act.
Well, for Eddie, a big guy like that, he's going to need a 2x4 to ride down the ice, never mind a hockey stick.
Yeah, you better have an old wooden stick to hold up that booty. There is a hell of a good, when I was a kid, we had, my cousins had a cabin up in Floating Stone Lake.
Yeah.
Up by Ashmont, Sped and Vilna there. And we used to stop at the ice cream store. There's a good ice cream shop in Smoky Lake, or at least there was.
Yeah.
So I know those guys don't go for a beer after the game. They might want to go for an ice cream. That's the place to go.
Well, the Duke has enough beer for everyone. You don't have to worry about that. Spec.
Yeah, maybe the Wassetna Hotel's not that far out of the way either. That's a good spot for a cold beer. I'll tell you that right now.
Good stuff, Spec. We'll see you down at the rink tonight.
All right, Kev.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet on the mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Give Mike a dingle at northgategm.com. When we come back, Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, there was an article that I saw today that came out from a website that I can't get access to, Firewall. But Frank, being the Germantown Academy hockey coach, and this is something that we're going to discuss with Frank when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mackenzie the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
If you're looking for nonstop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440. Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
and so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with Tritum, tandem, and single-axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, plows, man lifts, pickers, refuse trucks, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
A little ice and snow can't stop your Canadian spirit, especially when you start at the Lawnmower Hospital. Come find a wide selection of top-performing snowblowers, sweepers, and backpack blowers from the best names in snow removal, like Toro, Ariens, Echo, and BCS. Don't forget to pick up pet-safe, plant-safe ice melt, along with Aspen Fuel to keep you clearing. The Lawnmower Hospital. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
The big program, 8:21 in Edmonton. Time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. The plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks and backs up after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night with the fellas. That's mrreuter.ca as we welcome in Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. Good morning, Frank.
How you doing, Kevin?
Well, outstanding. So I sent you a text that I was going through some things on the old interweb this morning. And I come across an article that says it's 4 hours ago that it was posted. And I don't know if this is correct. I have no clue. It's from the Inquirer, not the one that you get on the
not the
newsstand.
National Enquirer, the Philadelphia Inquirer.
You could be on the
real one.
I could see you being on the Inquirer, the National Enquirer. I don't know in what category or whatever, but anyway, wherever this paper is or this website, the headline is Frank Saravalli becoming Germantown Academy's hockey coach. Now, when I try to click on it, it firewalls me out. So I haven't been able to read it, Frank. But can you just give our listeners a little bit of a background of this article? We've talked lots about your coaching and things like that, but go ahead, big guy.
Yeah, so it just tells a little bit of my story, and really grateful for Alex Coffey from the Inquirer, who spent a lot of time working on it. The long and short of it, and I haven't talked a ton about it, is, when you're a kid, you have your hockey heroes. And for me, my heroes weren't in the NHL. It was at my local rink watching my cousins. And they were 6 to 8 years older than me. They played high school hockey at a relatively high level here, and they were leaders on their team. And they had an incredible program. They went undefeated in their league for 5 straight years, 100, 0, and 6, which is crazy. Anyway, those are the memories that are seared in your brain. And my cousin, Anthony, passed away unexpectedly a couple years ago, leaving behind, at 41, leaving behind a wife and 3 kids under 8. And so I didn't play at this school. I wasn't an alumni, but this summer someone had sent me the job opening, and I don't know why, but it felt right. And I just want to help people. I want to help kids get better. I want to teach life lessons, share experiences. I've been incredibly lucky. Hockey has given me almost everything in my life, so I want to pay it forward. And for me, this place where he played just felt right. And it's at the local rink where I grew up playing. And I can't even really explain how or why I ended up there other than that. And I didn't really have the time to do it. And I just kept thinking, if not me, then who? Who's going to step up to help these kids with their program that was basically on life support? I mean, I went to school and met with these kids, and they said, Coach, you have to help us because we're not going to be able to have a team anymore. And I was hooked. That was it.
Oh, great story. Sorry about your cousin.
Thank you.
So, as you said, you're probably getting more out of it than the kids are getting out of it, Frank.
The energy that it gives me is it's fantastic. Like, these kids really care. we have we only have 14 players total, 12 skaters and 2 goalies. And we're actually super young. Most of our team playing at the high school level. We actually have 3 8th graders playing up. And it's been a blast. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity. And yeah, they've given me a lot, and I can hopefully share with them just a few things I've learned along the way.
Yeah. So is it like more practices? Who are you playing? What are the games against? Like what other teams or
Yeah,
academies?
we're in a league here in the Philly area. It's a lot. I mean, between practice, workouts, film, I run the middle school program as well. There's scheduling, keeping stats, ordering gear. I mean, there's just a million things that go into it that you never really recruiting. I mean, I'm in the rinks on weekends, talking to families, spreading the gospel of the team, and it's a lot. The undertaking is probably even more than I envisioned at the beginning, but losers find time and winners make time, and that's the difference.
Well, good on you for doing that, Frank, and thanks for sharing that. And again, it's just something that I stumbled upon this morning. And the article, was that just posted recently?
Yeah, it just came out today. It kind of tells the whole story of my cousin and shares. I mean, she did a great job. She found some players. One player still playing pro in Sweden. She tracked him down and talked about just how my cousin was able to help him. And yeah, it used to be a relatively storied program here in the Philly area. 3 NHL alumni. And sometimes I gotta pinch myself that I get a chance to do something like that.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. Frank Saravalli with us on Sports 1440. Yesterday, Jackson Lacombe gets named to the American Olympic team for Seth Jones, who can't go. How close was this between Lacombe and Lane Hudson?
I mean, in the end, we won't know, but I think the fairest indication of perhaps how Team USA felt was their pre-Olympic orientation camp in the summer. That, look, Lane Hudson wasn't invited, and yes, it was an off-ice thing, but Lane Hudson was added to the long list, and I believe and know that he played his way into the conversation. But I think the all-around nature of Jackson Lacombe's game, the size, the skating ability, not that Lane struggles in that department, but all the things that Jackson Lacombe brings, like he's an all-around player. And I felt like this was more of a stylistic selection with Seth Jones being out, that he's a closer facsimile to Seth Jones than Lane Hudson would be.
Where's Lacombe fit in here? Is he 7 or 8? Where's he fit in? Is he top 6?
We don't know yet. Like, I mean, they haven't made this determination yet. Me personally, I would have had Jackson Lacombe on the team before Noah Hannafin, because I can't think of one thing that Noah Hannafin does in his game that's better than Jackson Lacombe. I just think he's a better version of a well-rounded player. But that's just my own personal opinion. Now, does that mean he slots into the top 6? I think still TBD. And like, I don't want to alarm anyone, but like, we've got a couple more weeks to get through of NHL hockey before anyone can even confidently say which players are going to Milan and which aren't.
So many injuries. I mean, and you say there's going to be a couple more weeks here of injuries too, Frank.
It's carnage. I mean, that's the peril of announcing these teams so early. I understand why they have to. It's not just for players that are booking vacations. And I hope Jackson Lacombe clicked that yes on the insurance button when he booked wherever he's heading. Or maybe he's with that $72 million contract, he can afford to self-insure. Either way, marketing, all these other things that go into it, you have to name the team early. But the tough part is sometimes when players are playing to not get hurt, that's when they end up getting hurt. Not saying anyone is, but you're praying that you don't get injured. And it's one of those situations where it feels like that's exactly what happens.
Yesterday, Josh Doan signs a really nice contract for the Buffalo Sabres, for both sides, really, because it gives the players some security, but it also sends a message from the Sabres organization. How big of a deal is this for Buffalo and for Josh Doan?
Well, it's enormous for both. I mean, that's life-changing money, almost $49 million for Doan. And the Sabres, the message is Josh Doan is the first player on their roster on a standard contract to earn a signing bonus.
Mhm.
Now, I know that might not seem like the biggest deal, $7 million. There's other teams paying more than that in one summer to one player. But that's how business gets done around the NHL. And I wonder what kind of harbinger or message that is for Alex Tuck on their roster about some part of it has been in the negotiation exactly that. It's not just AAV term and dollars, it's structure. It's how much signing bonus are you giving? What clauses are you giving? My own commentary on the Josh Doan contract is it's a way better deal for Buffalo than it is for Josh Doan. Now, I get the idea of signing up for security, but 7 years is a relatively long time with the cap increasing for a player who may already this season be playing at a level close to that $6.95 million AAV. Now, he's got some small sample size issues that he needs to work out. This is just one season, but this could be a real bargain value for the Sabres when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. I got a text for you, Frank, about this contract from the real Duke. Ask Frank if the contract dollars, numbers, is some protection should Tuck walk.
Could be. And by the way, is he the real Duke? I mean, there's only one Duke. I mean, come on, let's be serious here. But I think that's an interesting point, and I think they've got a real tough decision to make here.
Mm-hmm.
The longer this drags on with Alex Tuck, I mean, the fact that Jarmo Kekalainen has been in the job for a month now, Tuck was priority number one, and he's still unsigned. How does this team that's trying to end this playoff drought at 14 years possibly trade away arguably its best player or one of its best players at the deadline and still try and make the playoffs? But then maybe you consider the inverse of that, which is how does this team that hasn't made the playoffs in forever let a guy walk for nothing at the end of it, knowing that you're probably not going to win the Stanley Cup this year? I mean, stating the obvious out loud, that's a tough situation to manage.
What number do you think Tuck and term would be looking at? Are we looking at 10 mil and 7, 6? What are we looking at here?
I believe the ask has been in that range of 8 years times $10.5 million.
Wow. So he'd be the second highest paid player behind Dahlin, I guess.
Correct. And that's a significant commitment, but there's a guy who's wanted to be like, that's the other part of the Doan contract is it's been hard to get guys to want to be in Buffalo the last few years. It's different when you're Owen Power or you're Rasmus Dahlin and you're drafted by that team and you kind of drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. For a guy that's parachuted in a trade from Arizona/Utah to Buffalo to then get there and experience it and want to stay long-term, that's another signal to the market of a win.
Mm-hmm. Out west, Vancouver finally wins a game. Anything new on the Elias Pettersson trade talks?
Nothing right now. I think the big question is, as this interest continues to build, is how much does he want to move? What are his thoughts and vision for the future? Does he believe he can be the guy that drags this team out of the rebuild when it's time? And if not, if he's interested in a change of scenery, when and where? So really important questions to ask, and we don't have a sense of the answer to those yet. And on the other end of that Canucks game, I think probably some concerns should start to be expressed about the Washington Capitals and their playoff hopes. Losers of 4 straight, and a team now mathematically that's going to need to play with very little margin for error down the stretch just to get to like 94 or 95 points. It's going to be a challenge for this Caps team.
What's gone south for you in your mind when you watch the Caps?
It's an Eastern Conference, a better Eastern Conference version of the Winnipeg Jets. Everything that could have gone right last year did. Everything that could go wrong this year kind of mostly has. You're trying to hope for a bunch of young players and the vets at the same exact time who had career scoring years to go out and replicate that again or build off of it. That's a lot to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And the Caps have really struggled on that front, particularly scoring.
Hey, you mentioned Winnipeg. I'm still in the belief that they can get into the playoffs. The problem is then they got to go quite likely through the Central here. Where are you at with the Jets here, Frank?
I don't see that path.
Okay.
I mean, how many teams that they need to jump over between now and then to gain ground? I mean, look, like here's the best inverse example of that. Look how poorly the Dallas Stars have played for a month now. And yet the Wild, who were 6 points back and were on a tear for a huge stretch of that, have only just pulled even with them and tied them. It's hard to the lesson or moral is it's hard to gain ground. So if you're the Jets, you're talking about having to reel off a 12-game winning streak. Is this team capable of that? I would argue with the way that they defend, probably not.
I think there's still enough in that room that there's a lot more to give. I mean, I know that they have to climb over a lot of teams here, but they're just 1 point back of both Chicago and Calgary. Make that step first, and then you get teams like Seattle and Utah and San Jose and LA in your sights, because those are the teams. One of those are the teams that they've got to knock out here. So,
okay, maybe Seattle, I could see them running down. I don't think they're running down the Kings or the Mammoth. Like I'm sorry. Maybe the Sharks, but even the Sharks they're plucky, man. Like maybe there's one spot open. I'm going to say Utah is in the playoffs. Like I put a stake in the ground.
You've always been hot and horny for Utah, haven't you, Frank?
I don't know why people say that. I think they're better than they've shown.
Give me that, Frank. Come
Look at
on.
their plus 19 goal differential. Look at a lot of their metrics. They're 8-1-1. They've won 4 in a row. Like they had a stretch where they struggled. They started incredibly well. I think they're closer to the team than they've shown in 2 of those spurts rather than 1.
Come on, Frank. You and the owner are tight. We all know that.
Do you know that when he came on my show last week, that's the first time in my lifetime that I've ever spoken to Ryan Smith?
Oh, when you went out there, when you were in Utah, was that last year?
They wouldn't even give me an interview.
Really?
I am. There's no word of a lie. That's the first time I've ever spoken to Ryan Smith.
Wow, I thought you guys were like buddies.
Don't know him from a can of paint, and I don't. I mean, in terms of making my rounds on the circuit, not a team that I even really spend a lot of time talking to or about. I just think they're good. I think I'm a believer in their players. That's it.
Okay. Do they have the right coach, Frank?
That's a good question. And I've been not convinced, but I've been asking questions about Andre Tourigny and particularly some of his player deployment and usage and how much their power play has struggled this year. I think that's been a valid question to ask.
Yeah. Well,
really good guy. I don't know that he's the right coach.
Yeah, I agree. He's one of the nicest guys you could ever talk to. And we'll see exactly how that unfolds. Thanks for sharing the story about Germantown Academy. You guys got games this weekend, Frank, or what?
We have senior night tomorrow night.
Senior night. What's that all about?
So the seniors that are graduating, we just do like a nice pregame ceremony and recognize them and their parents for their contributions to the program. And they're off to college.
Hey, just a quick text that came in from AK. Ask Frank if we can buy a shirt to support his new hockey program. Awesome story, by the way. You guys have?
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. We don't have a swag store, but maybe I could get one going.
Get her going, Frank.
I've spent the huge bulk of my stipend buying gear, so maybe I can work that out.
Thanks, Frank. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for your support. See ya.
Yeah, Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV and the coach of the Germantown Academy and the headliner of the day. Brought to you by Mr. Rooter, the #1 overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That's mrrooter.ca. Interesting how, Frank says you can find time or make time. Winners, losers, a little different. People, I think, understand how busy Frank is. If you watch many sites or, whatever publications, things like that, in past years and even this year, and from Daily Face Off to Victory Plus TV, I think most of our listeners would be aware of how busy a guy can be. Plus, you're going to games, you're watching games, et cetera, et cetera. But when you take the time to help and shape mold kids, it's more rewarding, Frank would tell you, than all this stuff that he does. But again, it's about making the time and taking the time and being invested in it. And it's not easy. Coaching isn't easy for sure. When we come back, we'll get to some more of your texts. 833-401-1440. It's Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, Mackenzie the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhock beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhock beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhock beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
If you're looking for non-stop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440, Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
And so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
Yeah, I'm not skating until then.
Hear that, Shorzy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season, stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
The big program, 8:45 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mackenzie the intern with you here on Sports 1440. So glad you're with us on a Thursday morning on game night for the Edmonton Oilers as the Pittsburgh Penguins are in town. Pens beat Calgary Flames last night 4-1. Stu Skinner picked up the win, had, what do you have, 17, 18 saves? Or I think 18 saves is what it was last night. His goals against 234, 902 save percentage so far in Pittsburgh. He's playing well. Tristan Jarry's playing well. Brett Kulak's playing well. It's a trade that's worked out great for both sides. We likely won't see Skinner tonight. Who knows? Maybe we don't even see Jarry in goal. Maybe they go with Connor Ingram tonight. Puck drop just after 7 bells. You know, I didn't want to ask Frank this, but we had a text in from Steve. And because it wasn't fair to Frank, but Steve's question is, DNB, is Daniel Nugent-Bowman going to join Victory Plus TV? Well, it's a hell of a question. I mean, Daniel Nugent-Bowman has worked for The Athletic, or did work for The Athletic. He was dumped from there, which is a joke. Excuse me. Which is a joke when you think about it. I mean, The Athletic's owned by the New York Times. They got some bucks, obviously. I get where papers are and where websites are, and I get where all that crap is. But you got a guy here that is covering a team that's gone to 2 Stanley Cup finals. You got a guy here that is covering the best player in the world. You got a guy here that, again, now when you're looking at what the future is moving forward, that was doing really good work before. And this isn't like he was mailing stuff in here. DNB did a lot of good work for The Athletic, but it's a joke that they would let a guy go in a city where hockey is everything. And you probably have how many reporters, etc., all over that wouldn't be doing the job or having the commitment that DNB had. Now, here's the other thing. I don't even know DNB that well. I know him, we sit around, we'll say hi and a couple words here and there, but that's it. But you see what you see. So I think that's a bit of a joke that the Times would handle it this way and do everything in that sense. To your question, Steve, I don't know. It's something that maybe Frank can be, it can be discussed with Frank, or I don't have a clue what DNB, Daniel Nugent-Bowman, is doing. Like, everyone knows that he was on with Low Tide, you know, all the time from 12 to 2 since we started at Sports 1440. But how that was handled, how the Times, the New York Times, and again, you don't have a guy here that's covering the best player on a day-to-day basis. Like, that's just stupid. And I understand that it's all clicks, and that's how the world works now. The most clicks, the most views. If you get so many viewers on a YouTube page, if you get this on Twitter and X, if you get, oh boy, so everyone's watching this, everyone's seeing that. Well, maybe he didn't get the amount of clicks because it's a small market in Edmonton compared to other NHL cities. But I don't think it was handled well. And again, if you're The Athletic, you don't even care about Edmonton, do you? You don't care about Edmonton because in the big scheme of things, it is so low on the totem pole. That's why you make this move. Hey, Duke, I wanted to bring up Eddie Steele's celebration possibilities tonight.
Are we sold on, once again, I'm not convinced that Eddie will be able to execute the riding the stick or the broomstick, as you keep referring to as the Tiger Williams.
I just made that one up because it's one of the most famous.
And
we know that he can't do
rightfully so. Well, I don't know if we know he can't do it.
way.
If I had to guess, I would say he might struggle with it. Do we want to float out some other possibilities?
Yeah, like are we looking at
what about like the Gretzky, like the kicks?
Like, see, now that's on
like
one skate,
the running man,
that's
the running
on one
man.
skate. A lot of these, and Eddie's got to have 2 boots on the ground.
Well, no, he can go on one skate just as long as he's not turning right while doing it.
He can't turn left. Can't turn left, right? It's left. Yeah, can't turn
sorry.
left.
And then Eddie, naturally, we always know he's listening. He just texted him, "Why are you selling me short?"
So I think it would be something. Is it going towards like maybe a George Laraque like jumping off the glass?
That's what I think that would be good.
You know, when Georgie scored that
like
hat trick.
right by where the crowd is, right? Yeah. Engage the fans, have them turn them into some glass bangers.
Yeah. I remember when George was here and he jumped into the glass. He scored a hat trick. I don't know what year it was, but it was on February 22nd. I know that because it was my brother's birthday.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the year. And George would always say, "How do you remember the date?" And I told him. But I remember Kevin Quinn, who used to do the play-by-play, asked George, and this is a long time ago, "George, if you score, can I use the phrase from Muhammad Ali, rumble, young man, rumble?" Mm-hmm. And he did. And of course, George said, "Oh, you got to use it." So George wanted to score. Yeah, he wanted to score. Cat Dad says that Eddie should try the knee slide.
That's a good one. That's a good one. He has to be careful though. Make sure those shin pads are in proper position, or else he might hurt himself.
His shin pads aren't big enough to do a knee slide.
Okay, I don't know if this ever got brought up, and it was right after the Critters game. Marty has his young son Seamus plays hockey with Eddie's son, right? And it's like the Learn to Play program or whatever. Marty had texted me. I just want to make sure I still have this message somewhere. Essentially about they were having a parent meeting or something, and there was along the lines of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And Marty basically texted Eddie in the middle of it, suggesting that if Eddie needed some gear, here's it. Parent meeting today. One of the parents said, "I have a bunch of equipment. If anyone needs anything, let me know. I'll bring it next week." Marty sent Eddie a text saying, "Put your hand up. Maybe you can get some new shin pads." And apparently Eddie just looked over at Marty across this parent meeting and shook his head out of dismay. But that was a pretty convenient follow-up because I think that was only like a day or two after this initial sighting of Eddie's wee little child-sized shin pads.
Axel says the Theo slide, like we were maybe mentioning too.
Yeah, that'd be good. The Yakupov slide.
Yeah, Yakupov. Let's be honest. Hey, true story. I did it wasn't a documentary. It was a 5-part series during COVID. It was the 30-year anniversary of the Oilers and Flames in 91.
Okay.
So Kevin Lowe came in and we went through all the footage of every game. And that goal that Theron Fleury scored was in game 6. And he slid all the way down, right, through center ice. And I was so mad, and with our executive producer at the station, because Kevin Lowe in this 5-part series, his line was, and I'll say it on the air, "You know what? We were so mad because up until that point, that little bastard didn't do anything against us all series long." You can't get a better quote in any news story, sports story, or whatever. I write the story, I put it in, it goes into editing, and then I see the executive producer has bleeped out that line.
Oh, really?
And I was so livid that she would do it, and I could not believe it, and it was the worst decision that I've seen probably in broadcasting. Man, was I mad at that, and I'm mad about thinking about it, but just thinking about that slide of Theron Fleury. There's
coming
a lot
up
of
on the
great
anniversary
stories.
of the Yakupov slide. Saturday, I think.
No, what?
You talk about days you remember.
Yeah.
I remember that because we were at the Delburne curling rink because it was Farmers Bonspiel week.
Okay.
Because it was against the Kings, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
I remember it quite vividly.
Kyle says the hat trick was in 2000. I was at that game. That's the George Laraque hat trick. Corey has nailed it here. As long as nobody gets hurt with Eddie, most notably. Yeah. Well, Corey says maybe Eddie can do the barrel roll like Odell Willis after a sack.
That'd be good.
A lot of defensive ends did that and continue to do it.
Did Eddie have a signature sack dance or something?
I don't know.
Because I think that would be good if he like a little shuffle. I don't know what Eddie was. Maybe the home run swing. You guys do that.
These texts are awesome. Matt and Leduc. I feel Eddie's pain. My elbow pads are longer than my shin pads. Oh. Bad Captain says, KK, come on, bro. The worst decision in broadcast history. LOL. For me, it was. I was just mad about it. And I'm overreacting. Everyone knows that, Bad Captain. But I didn't agree with the decision. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk baseball. And boy, is there a lot to unpack with Gabe Lax from USA Today. Everything from Bo Bichette, the big trade last night too with Freddie Peralta. Tons to discuss, maybe Hall of Fame. It's endless with Gabe Lax from USA Today. Also, Laddie Schmid will appear at some point in the 9 o'clock hour. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting. A St. Albert and surrounding areas premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Six-game slate across the NHL last night. Dylan Larkin with the OT winners. The Red Wings beat the Maple Leafs 2-1. Ducks get by the Avalanche 2-1 in a shootout. Mammoth come back to beat the Flyers 5-4 in overtime. Penguins top the Flames 4-1. Islanders lose in Seattle 4-1. And the Canucks end their losing streak with a 4-3 win over Washington. Buffalo Sabres signing forward Josh Doan to a 7-year extension worth the AAV of $6.95 million. Doan in his first season with the Sabres currently enjoying career highs, 15 goals and 35 points. Long game on the PWHL schedule. Montreal beating Minnesota 2-1 in OT. And in the association, the Raptors pick up a second straight win, 122-109 over Sacramento. Scotty Barnes leading the way with 23 points. Elsewhere, Brooklyn losing to the Knicks big time, 120-66. The Knicks take it. And OKC beats Milwaukee 122-102 off the back of 40 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Late last night, Milwaukee Brewers and New York Mets pulling off a blockbuster trade as ace pitcher Freddie Peralta headed to New York along with right-hander Tobias Myers in exchange for Mets top prospect Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. Associated Press announcing its MVP finalists for this past NFL season this morning. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, and Matt Stafford are atop the list. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Gabe Lax from USA Today covering the major leagues of baseball and our Thursday co-host, former NHL defenseman Ladislav Schmid. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Calamont Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen. At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
To the big program just after 9 o'clock in Edmonton. Baseball season right around the corner, and really excited to talk a little ball with Gabe Lax from USA Today, covers Major League Baseball. Good morning, Gabe. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, how you doing today?
We're doing great here. We're looking forward to baseball season. Obviously, we're immersed in hockey, and with the Super Bowl just around the corner, everyone knows baseball season's a little ways away, but it won't be long, as you know, till pitchers and catchers report next month. So we are excited to talk a little ball with you, Gabe. And I mean, the New York Mets making the big news last night with the addition of Freddie Peralta, the trade with Milwaukee. This is a legit ace. Maybe just touch on the enormity of this deal where the Mets pick up one of the best pitchers in baseball to lead their staff.
Yeah, it's it's funny. David Stearns, right after introducing Bo Bichette yesterday, I'm still in the pitching market. I'm in multiple pitching markets. There's one more big move we got to make, and I wasn't sure if they'd be able to win the Peralta bidding. Number one, for the Brewers to be motivated to move him because they're not just going to give the guy away, and number two, trading for a guy who's only going to make about $8 million kind of cancels out the Mets' advantage, which is their financial might, right? Like they could trade for Luis Robert and absorb his $25 million salary and not blink, which nobody else wanted to touch. So really, surprising move in that element. And it just adds so much credibility to their starting rotation just because, pretty much every guy that was penciled in there, had a little bit of a ding about them, whether it was they're a rookie, like Nolan McLean, or they kept coming back from injury like Kodai Senga, or they're, converted relievers without a lot of innings under their belt over the course of time like Clay Holmes. So suddenly you add a horse at the top of that, a guy that you definitely are comfortable starting game one of a playoff series. And just like that, the downward stream of, the effect that a guy like Freddie can have on a rotation is so big and really makes them, moves them from that. I mean, they already were, but moves them from that 83 win kind of meh of last year into, not just probably NL East favorites, but, suddenly their World Series chances look much better.
Yeah. So do you like this Mets overall when you look at the big picture, Gabe? And we mentioned Peralta, you mentioned Bo Bichette, and it's a big contract. Luis Robert Jr. coming over in the trade with Chicago. Do you like the pieces to the puzzle that the Mets have assembled here?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. They're one of their first moves. I didn't really like then, and still don't really like, which was going and getting Jorge Polanco. Kind of a square peg in a round hole at first base. A guy that has been sort of non-linear in his production over the course of time, and he's going to turn 33 years old next year. I love what Marcus Semien brings to the team with regard to defense and just veteran sensibilities, and the fact that he can get his offensive game back together while batting in the lower half or even the bottom third of the order. I think that's going to be a big, big weight off his shoulders. So it's, again, nobody wins the winter meetings. Nobody wins the winter, but it's you can't really judge anything until it's done. And again, there's still a handful of difference-making free agents out there. It's pretty rare, but right now, if you consider that the Mets are done, in total, I really like the picture that they painted this winter.
What'd you think of the Bo Bichette contract term and money dollars overall, Gabe?
Yeah, I think it's a really good deal for him. being able to hit the market again at 28 while pocketing a $42 million annual salary, is pretty remarkable. That's a good spot for him. You hope that he stays injury free. It's a little surprising. I mean, you kind of just assume when a guy hits free agency that he's going to take the most guaranteed money and kind of assure himself for the longest term. And obviously that option was there, with a couple of teams for guys like Bichette and Kyle Tucker. But, I think he properly gauged that, the silly qualifying offer attaches a draft pick compensation to you in your first year of free agency. So he's going to be without that next year. And, he's going to probably show pretty well that he can play third base. So you offer a potential suitor, a guy that can play third, play shortstop, if not at an extremely high level, and play second base, which he showed in the World Series. So, yeah, I think it sets him up really well. And I think, again, his plate discipline, his ability to make contact, his ability to hit with runners in scoring position is going to be pretty close to exactly what the Mets need.
It's going to be a hell of a division, the NL East. Which division in your mind is going to be the toughest this year, Gabe?
Yeah, I think we got to, it's such a cliche, but I think we got to, kind of stick with the AL East here. It's the Jays made their hay early. It's funny if they retained Bichette, I think they would be, stacked and, in really good shape. Obviously now, how Okamoto performs will be significantly more important. He's going to take on a much larger role than in a Bichette universe with Bo still in Toronto. But, the Yankees treaded water. They, again, 94 wins, tied with the Jays for the division, basically. Boston took some steps forward. They snagged Ranger Suarez. I still think they're, shy a hitter or so. And then, the Orioles getting Pete Alonso, okay, you got an adult in the room now with all those great young hitters. I still think they're going to make a pitching splash of sorts. I think the longer it goes on, the better they may have a shot at snagging Framber Valdez. So, suddenly you've got 4 teams with serious playoff aspirations. And then the Rays, who are never bad, and you never know what stew they might concoct that suddenly you look up and they made 86 wins out of nothing. Yeah. So it's still the best divisions, both at the high end and the depth of it. So, but keep an eye on the NL West. Even though the Dodgers are so reloaded, you still have 4 really good playoff worthy teams there. So, it's interesting year all around for sure.
For sure. Gabe Lax from USA Today, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Bellinger re-signs, I guess, with the New York Yankees after testing some teams on the free agent market. Maybe a two-parter here. With that signing, do you like it in New York? And also, does that leave Gino Suarez as the biggest bat left on the market?
Yes and yes. Yeah. I think it's a good deal. I think it's a fair deal for both teams. Bellinger, kind of matches what he made last year. I know you probably wanted a raise, but you get a longer term. You're probably not going to get that great average annual value. But it's not the killing you would have imagined when Bellinger was hitting 47 home runs as like a 23-year-old, way back in 2019. But it's a good deal for him. And if you look at it over the course of time, for all his opt-outs and everything else, since becoming a free agent, he will now be at 7 years and $222 million, which isn't bad. Scott Boras gets criticized a lot for, maybe holding out too hard for his clients, but in the end, they eventually things work out pretty well for them. And he's not hurting for sure. And the Yankees need him. He's a great fit with that right field porch and with patrolling the corners. You can put him in left, you can put him in right, you can put him at first, and he's going to provide a relatively elite defensive look, while hitting 30 home runs. And I think that's, in that stadium, hitting, around Aaron Judge, I think that's something he'll be able to maintain for, at least a few years. So I think that's a pretty good deal for both sides.
Yeah. Where do you think Framber Valdez lands? He's likely the best arm. As you said, Suarez is the best bat, likely the best arm left in free agency. What's a good fit for Framber Valdez here, Gabe?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I still kind of like Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They said we have no constraints. They said we still have money after trading for Pete Alonso, and kind of like the Mets with Freddie Peralta.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bunch of arms in their rotations that have a lot of talent there with a lot of question marks. Maybe not a lot of guys that you go, okay, this guy's gonna pitch 180 innings and I don't even have to worry about it. But, you look at Trevor Rogers and Kyle Bradish, potential top of the rotation guys if they can maintain it over the course of a year. And Bradish came back from Tommy John, looked really good. Shane Boz might be coming into his own. They're rolling the dice on Zach Eflin again, and Dean Kramer's kind of your consummate, innings eating fourth, fifth guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you throw Valdez at the top of that rotation, suddenly it's very good. And again, a little bit of a load is taken off all those other guys. And, even if Valdez isn't, capital A ace, where you go, okay, this guy's we can ride him through the playoffs. The Astros did just that in 2022, but I'm not sure if he's necessarily that guy anymore. But, again, you're talking about 180 innings of reliability with a 3.5 ERA, something like that, and the ability to win in the playoffs. So that, I think that would be a really nice fit for them. And given that we're sitting here on January 22nd, I don't think it would necessarily break the bank. And, you look at the 5 years and $130 million for Ranger Suarez with the Red Sox. I think Valdez will do a little better than that. But at the same time, that's a very, sort of reasonable baseline to work from.
Mm-hmm. Gabe Lax with us from USA Today on Sports 1440. Where are you at, Gabe, with the imbalance? And, we see what the Dodgers have done, again, with contracts like Freddie Freeman, and other teams aren't spending. Some teams are spending way too much. There's talk about a work stoppage. Where are you at with everything here, Gabe? I mean, do we need a market correction, if you want to call it that? There's a lot to unravel there, but maybe just an overall thought where the game is at when you talk about some teams spending, some teams not, etc., caps, floors, all of that.
Right. Yeah, no, I think, obviously it's kind of insane what the Dodgers are doing. The Kyle Tucker contract is basically just like, seeing an overfed person just gorging at the buffet when they don't really need to. Like, okay, come on, back away. It's okay. Leave some for for everybody else that needs to eat. At the same time, so much of their success, is the result of taking advantage of the market. The Red Sox didn't have to trade Mookie Betts to the Dodgers. The Braves didn't have to choose Matt Olson over Freddie Freeman. The Giants could have signed Blake Snell to a real contract the first time around and kept him for a good several years after he was coming off of a Cy Young award. So many of these kind of seismic moves are partially the result of other teams, going to sort of these half measures or not, fully going all in on competing. I think it's hard to say salary cap now when there's so many teams that don't consistently try. And I think, what I like to call the upper middle class teams, I feel like they're cyclically, they will do enough over the course of time to compete. And with that, I'm talking about like look at the Jays. Obviously it seems like they cried poor for so many years, but clearly there's revenue there to spend. And then you look at the Phillies, dormant for about a decade, and now they can't. There's now suddenly a free agent they couldn't hand $100 million to. And then you get to like the Mariners and the Rangers and the Astros and Washington. They can be prone to handing out 9-figure contracts and earnestly competing, and they can also kind of go into the field position. So it's, there's not often a lot of teams that consistently compete, but clearly so many of them can when they want to. And I don't let the quote unquote small market teams off the hook either, just because I feel like so much of what goes on is them just kind of playing a role and sort of just doing what's expected of them. Like, if the Rays were to ever sign somebody to a $150 million contract, which in the year 2026 is an extremely reasonable venture, suddenly their mythical downtrodden status would be shattered, right? Yeah. The Tampa St. Pete market is the 11th largest in the USA. It's bigger than Phoenix. And I know obviously there's ballpark issues there that hurt their revenue, but we're not talking about Mayberry here. And yet the biggest contract they've ever given out is, I believe, still just $40 million. Yeah. So it's, free agent contract, I should say. Yeah. It's, I would like to say that, maybe the salary cap people have a point, but I also don't think so many franchises in baseball have quote unquote earned a salary cap. Because why should we rein in and provide cost certainty when so many of you haven't made the effort to earnestly compete on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gabe. A lot of us in Canada here, we're still gutted, and it's 3 months with the Blue Jays coming so close to winning the World Series. I mean, you can't get much closer, and people are still talking about how close the Jays were. What do you think of the changes that the Jays have made in the offseason here? And to get over the hump, I mean, that hump is so close to winning it all. But what do you think of Toronto's lineup and chances here moving forward this year, Gabe?
No, it's so true. When I see a highlight of the World Series highlight randomly flash on, there's a pit in my stomach. Not that I'm rooting for the Jays, but it was just so crazy and stressful to watch, for both teams. You get to games 6 and 7, 180 plus games over the course of 7-8 months. Oh my gosh. So it's tough to come back from that, but it can be done. To me, especially since they didn't get Tucker, since they didn't retain Bichette, I feel like it's a matter of the guys who, quote unquote, stepped up in the postseason and down the stretch, being able to kind of replicate or at the very least continue, with a really consistent rate of production over the course of 162 games. It's going to be so important. And I'm looking at guys like Addison Barger, Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez playing a full season at shortstop. He did so well. It'd just be interesting to see how he does over the course of 162. He hasn't been there full time for a really long time. Don't expect Ernie Clement to hit 400 or to get 30 hits in a 15-game sample or whatever it was. But guys like him and Addison, can they continue to move the line and put up those tough at bats that made them such a tough out as a team in October?
Do you think Santander, Gabe, can get anywhere close to where he was with Baltimore?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I think there's a lot of upside there based on just he came out, he was pressing a little bit, big contract, he gets hurt again. It's guys like him. It's kind of nice. You not to compare him to George Springer, but there is enough of a track record there that if they have a down year, there's a really good chance that there's going to be a rebound, that there's going to be a bounce back. You talk about a switch hitting power hitter, still with a really nice piece of real estate in that lineup, wedged between Vladdy and Alejandro Kirk. That's a good spot to be. So it's I think you're going to get some pop from there, and again, suddenly a la how Bo Bichette's defection makes Okamoto, more important, with no Kyle Tucker, suddenly that makes Santander that much more important. So, now they need that. The good thing is it's in there, and it's a pretty decent chance they'll get a pretty good return on investment this year relative to what he provided last year.
Gabe, thanks for all your insight. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to the football season wrapping up. And then here we go. Another baseball season upon us. Thanks for coming on.
Comes up quicker every year.
Sure does, yeah. That's Gabe Lax from USA Today, covers Major League Baseball. Check out his stuff at USA Today. Again, the Blue Jays with that starting pitching, it's going to be the best starting rotation in the American League East with Gosman and Cease hopefully Cease is healthy starting the season. Maybe some alarm bells went off when, he signed that $16 million tender, pardon me. And then all of a sudden, maybe the arm's a little something going on, but hopefully that works out okay. Trey Savage, if he can even come remotely close to continuing what he did at the tail end. And then you got Cody Ponce as well. And, nobody even talks about Jose Barrios or even a guy like Eric Lauer. If anything, they need some left-handed pitching help, but for the bulk of their rotation, obviously all righties. They've only got Lauer and I think Brendan Little as far as lefties go coming out of the pen. So when we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Ladislav Schmid's arrival sometime around 9:30. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick and Mackenzie, the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered with half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West End and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot. Somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 926 in Edmonton. Easy over there, boys. What'd you drop now, Josh? Headphones?
His
Telephone?
phone. He
Did it
dropped
break? Did it smash?
It sounded pretty bad.
Oh, let's hope that screen is just a mess, is it?
He's a
It's
no.
okay.
He's a no
He's
case.
okay.
He's a no case guy, just like me. So it's risky.
Duke, your phone is so bad.
My phone is in bad
Like-
shape. I've
what did the guy say on the bus there one time? Hey, what's that red line doing? What is that? Do you have,
what's
do you
that?
have two
Is that like a
screens?
special feature? I'm like, no, that's just me being too lazy. I will say I did make an effort to get a new phone, and my provider made it about as difficult as possible. And so now, out of spite, essentially, I'm changing providers. I'll just leave it at that. And I think that's going to take place probably tomorrow after the show. Nice wide open Friday afternoon in front of me. Got a little bit. If my curling team wins without me tonight in Delburne, I'll have to play tomorrow. But I think 6:30 is draw, so I'll have a little bit of time to go and maybe get a new phone taken care of. I need it bad. Still works. It's just a little rough shape is all.
My buddy Blair, who hangs on every word, Duke.
He loves you, Kev.
He hangs on every word. I thought I said Cease and Bieber, Cease then Bieber. And then I said Bieber talking about his 16 million. He says he rewound my comment on YouTube, apparently.
He's
and
fact checking you, Kev.
Went word for word.
You're not allowed to make any mistakes, Kev.
Cease signed, obviously, the $200 million deal. But then I was talking about Bieber and his $16 million, and I couldn't spit out $16 million tender that he signed, player option. So I apologize, Blair, to you. Rockford says it's a Blue Jays Mets World Series. I finally told MTR to come pick up his beer, and he says, this is the funniest thing that I've heard MTR ever say. Ever. He says, I will, but I got to come in on a Saturday during the Triple S because I work Monday to Friday. What kind of job do you think MTR has when he listens to Sports 1440? I would say with all the shows from 7 in the morning till Gregor at 6, we're looking at 11 hours of programming. It
Well,
seems
there's a number of jobs that could fit that with maybe the odd interruption throughout the day, like whether you're maybe in the vehicle all day, like as a driver of some variety in a shop, even just if you're just an office man, like a cubicle person, you got the headphones in while you're plugging away on your
he's not
your PowerPoints or your spreadsheets.
That's what I'm saying. He's not working. He's listening to the show.
You can do both.
Nah.
Think about it, Kev. When I was back home working the land, working the cattle, I'd be streaming whether it be radio, like FM radio, music, podcast, sports talk, 1260 still kicking at that time.
And
that
again,
was basically my whole day.
Well, and again, now you wonder why you almost lost your finger and you blew out your knee and all these other farm accident and injuries.
Well, first of all, I never injured my knee in a farm accident. Those were athletic endeavors.
Okay, what about the finger? With
The finger, that was the only noise. Well, what point would there be having someone on when the post pounder's running? You can't hear it anyway. There was nothing running. And I'd hate to break it to you, Kev, no radio in the 4020 with the metal cab on it. So that was not a relevant factor in that particular incident. Now, I'm not too proud to admit that were sometimes mistakes made because you are a little absent-mindedly listening to something else. My dad will hate to hear it, but listen. It happens. All of a sudden, you're driving down the swath with the baler, and you look up, and you're like, "Oh boy, I'm not exactly picking up very much of it here. I'm about 6 feet wide of the swath." That happens. You loop back around, try again.
Man, it'd be nice to be in one of those $1 million combines, Duke, and everything.
They drive
right?
themselves.
Yeah, you just press
What
the
a
button.
world.
And basically, it's all on GPS, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
how does it- yeah. And then, well, Ladis Schmid has entered the building. Just had a big sip of his whatever smoothie he's got. Oh, it looks like just water. We're gonna ask Laddie this question about Eddie's celebration if he were to score tonight. Eddie Steele, not Fred, texts in and says, "I think Eddie should do the Ovi swim. The Ovi swim. Just get out of the way when he does it." Well, that'll be a question we ask Laddie when we come back on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, Mackenzie the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home to sports is Sports 1440.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:35 in Edmonton. And Ladislav Schmid has graced us with his presence. Good morning, Laddie, our Thursday morning co-host.
Good morning, Kevin.
Are
How
you
doing?
well, I'm doing great, but I'm concerned about you because you got the big Shoresy game tomorrow.
Yeah, and you didn't really prepare me for it on Monday.
Oh, yes,
I
we
was
did.
Terrible.
Well,
I had a tough start. Really tough start. I had several turnovers. It was awful. I wanted to smash my steak. Then I was getting frustrated with some of my teammates who couldn't finish.
Vic or who? Your
I don't know. No,
your D partner? You were happy with Vic?
I was happy with Vic.
Vic, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? When we had the little huddle there, we said,
who's the worst defenseman?
So they were all looking at me, Duke, and then I said, "No, we're all looking at Vic." And then right away, we were all looking at Laddie. And then what happened? Remember, Laddie, when you were that one goal, and
yeah, you gave it like you're on my team, and you.
No. I was on the bench, and I said, Laddie,
but you're on my team, and you're chirping me.
I was, but because all the guys told me. Because Laddie last week went white, Duke, and then we're dark. So he went to dark. And after a couple goals, I grabbed Laddie's jersey that he had on white, and I said, "Here, Laddie, go white again. Go white again."
You make one mistake, and they let you hear it. But in my defense, like I don't think even Connor McDavid could save that team. To be honest, that's how
I've
bad
played with Kev before, Laddie. You're preaching to the choir here, man.
Yeah.
I watched him and Eddie as D partners the last Critters game in Redwater, and it was pretty tough sledding out there at times.
First of all, we had 5D, Duke. So
that's true. But
and I made sure.
I think if we were to break down the Corsi numbers and the Fenwick percentages, I think when Kevin and Eddie were the two D-men on the ice, we were getting caved in by the analytics.
So from like 1 to 10, 10 is the best. How would you like? How is Eddie 1 to 10? Okay. Like, how is his skating? How is his stick handling? His hockey IQ. I
would say Eddie can do each individual element of the game just fine, but then it's putting them all together and doing them at once.
That's hockey, putting it all together. Or you can be just a figure skater, or you can just play ball hockey.
For someone that never played it growing up, like he gets around fine out there. He's aware of his own deficiencies, and his self-admit he's like, yeah, I'm not as good at turning left as I am at turning right. So when he did his little pregame spin around the wave to the crowd,
just like Jason Strudwick. And look at his NHL career. Cannot turn left, but right, he's pretty good.
Eddie's biggest issue was not in his play; it was in his gear wear. The mini shin pads, and then taking the chin strap loops off his helmet. It looked like
hilarious.
His hockey helmet looked like a football helmet. It was pure comedy.
What about
so
funny?
His shin pads were probably 4 to 5 inches too short.
So buy him a new one. Oh, you're too cheap to spend $60 on a Shoresy ticket. So what do I expect you to buy him a shin pads?
Well, I think. Well, we said, are those your sons? And his son's like 10 years old.
How old is Eddie?
38.
Or he's younger than me.
Yeah, he's.
Well, obviously, I look younger than him, but
yeah. So we said goal. If he scores a goal tonight, his goalie celebration. We talked about George jumping into the glass.
George Larac.
George Larac. That was George's celebration into the glass.
Did they have to replace them afterwards?
Yeah, you didn't see Georgie jumping in the glass.
I've seen it. Yeah. I hope he's not going to do it now, though.
I hope not too. But you said the OV swim, and what did you say?
They might have to change the pipes underneath the ice if that happens. He's a large man. Well, Ovi is a big guy too. So
poor Eddie.
I like Eddie. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. I got the message to go out from the J-Dog for our dinner again.
Oh,
wants to do it in July sometime. Is that okay?
Should be here. Not towards the end of July, kind of beginning of mid-July.
We'll see what we can do there.
Ooh, shorts, t-shirts, pipes gotta be out.
Well, just think with Duke and the ladies that night.
Hey, think about if it's midsummer, maybe I'll wear my my new white shorts that I had got from Mexico. My nice white linen shorts.
Ooh. Wow, you're stepping it up. I like it.
I gotta impress you.
The ladies watch out. Why not? Well, for like exotic vacation, I don't mind that. Well, are we talking about patio or sit down? Right.
I don't know. I gotta talk to
Chop again.
It's at Chop. We got to talk to the J-Dog about this. There's a few other. July's tough too. Duke's wants to take some holidays here.
Nah. Dude. You shouldn't say anything about holidays.
Why?
You take like 4 or 5 holidays or like vacations.
No.
It's more about your schedule Hey,
So true. He's the hardest guy to plan around.
exactly.
Well,
Like, I always just say when people ask me like to come into things, I was like, just give me the date and I'll almost certainly be there. Like I'll make things work. I'm willing to move stuff around. Plus, I don't have a lot going on, so that also helps.
I get it. I'm looking for something here.
What are you looking for?
Give me a second.
Why? Well,
you and me are.
what we have another? Oh, okay. Well, show. That was a picture. That's the Duke's.
That's
picture.
my Twitter picture.
Yeah.
Farming for love.
Farming, it should be farming for love.
You look great, man. Here.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I sent it to Kevin. I was like, how is he single?
Great question.
Farming for love.
I like that.
Is that show coming back, Duke, or not?
I have no idea.
But wouldn't Duke?
I would do whatever it takes. Like I
I'm
would
not
call
sure- I'm not
any
sure it was
favors
a-
to get him on.
Could you imagine Duke being like really on that show as one of the contestants?
You want to talk about taking time off? You guys need to replace me for like 3 full months because I'd be making it right to the end.
That's fine. Like we are okay with that.
Oh wow, thanks.
For our entertainment.
It would be pretty fun.
Could you imagine watching that every week?
Well, I remember, I don't know, when Sheldon Stray was here, I don't know if they asked him or he just talked about it being a bachelor. He would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he would have been
I
so
don't
entertaining.
like. I think that would be a good idea in principle, and then like the big U.S. network would like put him through like the screening tests and stuff, and then be like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna fly because he would be too good, like too entertaining, but like the language, the stories, stuff like that. I'm not sure it would fly for a more traditional bachelor audience. And listen, I'm saying that as somebody who has never watched an episode of The Bachelor, but
you know who got asked? Frank Musial, you know, his son. His son
David
got
Musial?
No, Adam. Adam got. He's like a good-looking dude.
Yeah,
he's well known in Czech. He got asked to be a bachelor in Czech.
Oh, really?
And he turned it down. It's like, what are you doing, man? And then he
okay, just
appeared.
wait 1 second. Though.
Yeah.
Was it with 30 women?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Oh,
fine.
he would be the guy.
Yes.
So it's like, what are you doing?
30
You
guys,
just,
yeah.
You just test them out, and you know, and at the end, you
Test
just
them
pick
out.
one or just walk away. He turned it down, and then he was in like a music video with this like a female singer, and he was like doing like a pull-ups and like he was like a boy toy for her in that music video. It was hilarious.
About 35 years ago, laddie, I was in a bachelor auction. So it was for the hospital.
Did somebody pick you?
Well, they bought they
somebody bought you?
Yeah, but I went for the lowest amount of dollars out of all the bachelors. $25 I went for.
Who were the other guys?
Firefighters and guys like that. You know, they came out and they're parading around and
like shirts
this
off.
was
or
in
what?
Prince. Well, yeah, they had one guy had that, you know, the suspenders and all that.
Oh,
he went for the most, and I was $25.
so it's not a myth that they're ripped.
Well,
they're in a decent shape.
Sure.
Well, we have actually a guy on a kid on my son's team, and his dad is a firefighter. He's in a good shape.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, they have to be, no?
Well, absolutely, they have to be.
Well,
I just got
tomorrow.
a text. I just got a text from a firefighter guy who's in charge of our Thursday skate. You know, big Pat Bolio. And you see
he's
Pat,
a firefighter?
Yeah, well, he's retired now, but you see how ripped he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's a big guy. He was, you know, he was in the firefighter.
I wouldn't go as far as ripped. I'm ripped.
62 years old.
I know I'm ripped, but
yeah, well,
but he's in a good shape.
He's in good shape. He was in the firefighter calendar 3 times.
Oh, so the ladies love it. I thought that was a myth too. So there is calendars.
Sure, there are. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make my own calendar for my 40th birthday. I'm gonna do like a act photo shoot, and I'm gonna give it to my wife.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? You gotta be confident, right?
Like, are you confident about tomorrow night though in this Shoresy game after your performance on Monday?
Well, it can only go uphill from there. So I'm
I
gonna
have a
go into
serious
the
question.
game a little nervous, which
Okay.
I like.
Are you going to be deep partners with Struddy?
I hope not. I don't want to be bailing him out.
So who's
all
in
day.
charge of that? Ronnie Lowe and Pronger, they're coaching.
Yeah. Well, I hope like Chris Pronger is Hall of Fame. So after a couple shifts, he's gonna hopefully know who are the like a top players on the team, and he's gonna. I'm not saying I'm the top player on the team, but you're as strong as your weakest link. So that being Struddy, you know, like we just have to, you know, just shove him in a third deeper or in a, or hey, we have too many defensemen, so he played forward.
Is Hemmer coming in today?
I think so, yeah.
Because he should be at the game tonight, no?
Hammer, yeah, he should be. Well, I don't know.
Well, I assume he's coming in the afternoon, so he'll go to the game tonight. Rafi Torres, too.
Tico is coming.
Yeah.
George. Yeah. I'm not going to the game.
No.
I'm just going to be... I have finally a free night with no sports. I'm just going to watch the game.
Okay.
I'm gonna make skewers on the barbecue, which is like cold, but I like to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
take
you're not
my
going to
son.
go to the game.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Uh,
Sidney Crosby here. How many games did you play against Crosby that you can remember?
few, and always like I don't know, handful.
6? Because you guys
Prob-
wouldn't play against.
Yeah,
these, right?
yeah. But it's always kind of. I'm gonna compare it to when Czech plays Canada national team. That's how I would approach playing like Ovechkin or Crosby. It's like, they're generational talents. They've done so much for hockey, for the NHL. I think like when those two came in the NHL, it kind of reignited, like, I don't want to say restart the NHL, but it was kind of lacking something. And when those two, the media built up the rivalry and like they were battling in the playoffs, kind of like it gave a new life to the NHL. I don't know, like, do you agree or?
Well, because they came in, Ovi and
Almost
Sid
same
came
time.
in the same time
Yeah,
because of the lockout, right?
Yeah.
Both were number 1 picks. Ovi the year prior.
Yeah.
Then the lockout. Then Sid comes in after, and the Pens luckily win.
Yeah.
The draft lottery.
Yeah,
and
and
after
like
the lockout and stuff
and
like that.
And Obe is here too Saturday.
And
I
Obi's
need
here
his
Saturday.
jersey signed, man. I have a picture of him and me battling. I need that signed, and I ask. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Are you going to go down? Here's the thing. They play Friday night.
They play back to back, so that sucks. So I cannot go down. Like I don't know. We'll see, but I would like to get it done because I don't know if he's gonna play again.
What about, would you be able to go down before the game? You want me to make some calls here for you?
Can I get back to you about because I'm waiting for one thing. If they're gonna say yes, that I don't have to, but I might have to.
Well,
yeah, but back to Seth. Obviously, man, that's probably one guy I would want to play with and just see how he does things because I never heard a negative thing. Just very polite to everybody. Has that mindset of the winner. He basically brought the winning culture there, right? Like he set the tone and just a poster boy for Hockey Canada. Like honestly, Hockey Canada or Canada is very lucky to have a guy like that. Like I don't think we can say enough good things about him.
Well, and how about Evgeny Malkin? How many? You would have played. How about
I play against him like growing up for national teams, junior national teams. Another play, and you don't really talk about him that much, but what a player he is, or he was. Well,
still
is. Like
he's in the top 5 of all-time Russian players.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And whenever Sid was down, he took over, and he had the best years.
Yeah.
And people argue, well, that he should have went somewhere else, but I don't believe that. They won Stanley Cups there. They were both really good. Like obviously Crosby a little bit ahead of him, but still Malkin, hell of a career.
I really hope that, because there's talk that he's going to resign.
Who is?
Malkin. And he's going to have to take a big pay cut here. But
I think
he doesn't want to play anywhere else. That's the best thing. He just wants to retire.
I think he's gonna. He's made so much.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know.
Like so.
He's he's at $6 million right now.
Yeah. So what? He's gonna sign 3.5, and maybe or 3, and maybe they can give him some bonuses for games played or points. Like he can make up for some of that loss. But like, I don't think these guys care that much. No.
Well, I mean, career earnings 151 mil.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
That might be a little hot. It might be a little bit less than that. Maybe that doesn't include this year. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but yeah, these guys and no, they've made it. Some endorsements too on top of it.
This picture of Ovi, where's that from? Like what? Do you remember or what?
Oh, Oilers versus Capitals. I don't know, one of the games.
Someone took it and what?
Yeah, it was just and I have my ex actually gave it to me when she was like redoing stuff like old pictures. She gave it to me. I'm like, oh, Ovi. Like it would be cool if he could.
So how
sign.
big is it? Like, is it a?
Oh, it's just like
okay,
not
like
very big. So
8
it's
by
gonna
10 or
si-
something.
yeah, but still, like it would be nice to have it
Wow,
signed.
yeah, and then put it on the wall. for
Yeah,
sure.
he's the.
What do you
best-
think he
best-
would sign? To Laddie, your good friend, Ovi.
I don't know if I told this. I think I told this story
I don't know.
before.
Tell it again.
So Yuri Hudler won the Selkie, right? 1 year.
Okay.
Was it no Selkie? Yeah. No. What is it Selkie?
Yeah, well, for best defensive forward.
No, sorry, not Selkie.
So I don't know what you're talking.
What is
what?
it? What? No. Least penalties taken.
Oh, the Lady Bing.
Lady
Okay.
Bing, sorry,
Okay.
not Selkie. Lady Bing. Do you remember when he didn't wear the shoes on the stage? You remember that?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So he went said, I'm in check. I'm already training. He calls me from casino. They're a little, they're a little drunk. And he's like, Larry, you won't believe who I'm here with. Ovi is playing. I was like, oh. So he puts Ovi on the phone. He's like, hey, how's it going? He's like, hey, Larry, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm riding bike. What are you doing? He's like, I don't know, playing dice or whatever, roulette.
Craps or
I'm like, yeah, it must be nice. He's like, yeah, if you would be a little bit better player, you could have been here with us. I was like, yeah, thanks, so I appreciate it. Like, yeah, I guess we gotta keep riding my bike. Yeah, it was hilarious. But it'd be nice if we could sign that picture and and the jersey, because that's. Like, I didn't like, my wife always asked me, what do you want for Christmas or your birthday? I'm like, nothing. And then I was thinking, it's always last year. Like, I want a Washington Capitals jersey because I take a lot of pride in, like, I made it to the NHL, I play against some best players, and like Ovi's one of them. And I grew up playing against him, like World Juniors and all that stuff. So it's one of the guys that I would like the jersey sign.
Yeah.
We have signed Crosby jersey already.
Yeah.
So McDavid, Leon, and I would like Ovi.
Did you have or
Makar and McKinnon?
That you have those already?
Cogs came through.
Cogs did.
Guy texted Cogs like, "Hey, I know you're coming in. Like I love McKinnon and Makar. But my son loves Makar, but I just really like McKinnon too.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm just having pregame meal. This is a couple of years ago. Pregame meal with Nate Dogg and Makar.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. And I'm sitting with my son. He's like, yeah, seriously, we have a pregame meal. I'm like, are you gonna do it? It's like, yeah. It's as long as you gonna get me the jersey, so they'll sign it. And they did. When they came here, I was like, this is unbelievable. And it's signed to Laddie's.
Really?
To Laddie and to Laddie.
Oh,
like,
boy.
amazing.
You got a lot of sticks? Did you get sticks when you were?
No, and that's what my biggest regret is, not asking Nick Lindstrom for his stick.
Ooh.
And didn't shake his hand. Like, it didn't, it was his last game, like in Edmonton, but it wasn't like now when both teams stay on the ice and shake hands. I was such a young idiot. But I do have his signed jersey to Laddie because he's my all-time favorite player.
Yeah.
Perfect human being.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, best defenseman ever.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah. Like, people will argue maybe Makar is going to surpass him. Bobby Orr is there, obviously, in that conversation. But for me, Nick Lindstrom, he played in like the old school game kind of thing, and then he played in like a new era, and he succeeded in both.
But he made it look so easy. Like, it looked like he wasn't even skating or doing anything or checking or anything. But then the next thing you know, he's played 28 minutes. He's +2, has a goal, and
no sweat. He Sean Harko was telling me a story about him during the lockout, during not the 2005 lockout, but the next one, I think 20. Yeah. He didn't skate. It was a shortened season, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't skate for like 6 months or 5 months. They came to Michigan and they were like skating. So like Nick Lindstrom shows up. He was probably training, but he wasn't skating much. So they were like talking to him. It's like, hey, what do you do? He's like, yeah, just like training, hanging out with the family.
Yeah.
Have you played anywhere? He's like, no. They hop on ice. They're doing like 2-on-1s. And he's like, Hork was like, like we all work hard there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We are going 2-on-1s, and he knocked down every single pass over his stick. It was just like, boom. It's like, like how you're like trying to like put him down and like sauce it. It's like knocking it down, making the pass. It's like, are you serious? Like, and he's like, well, you either have it or you don't. It's true.
Are you coming to the skate today?
Can't.
Connie just texted and he said he's going to toe drag and walk you again.
You said the Thursdays suck.
No, I didn't.
You told me that.
No, I just have other, like, I had alumni skate last week and I should
How
play.
was that one?
It was good. Yeah.
It was
It
good.
was all good. Yeah.
Was it better than the Monday?
It's hard to compare. You know how they are. It's different because there's just.
Oh, you
other
don't want to
guys.
offend anybody. I get it.
Well, no.
Yeah. Did you see that? So the Mondays are better. No, I can't do it today.
There's going to be Josh in St. Albert. We'll get a question for Laddie coming up at 10:20ish
Should I
later
be
in the
nervous?
show. No, it's a good one. It's actually a real good one. So we'll get to that one, Josh, a little bit later. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got Josh Yohe from The Athletic, covers the Pittsburgh Penguins. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they welcome in the Pittsburgh Penguins to Rogers Place tonight. Puck drop coming just after 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage beginning right here in Sports 1440 at 6. Elsewhere around the NHL, 7 other games, including Vegas in Boston. The Hams hosting the Sabres. Blackhawks take on the Hurricanes. Blue Jackets hosting the Stars. Sens are in Nashville. Panthers going up against the Jets. And the Minnesota Wild take on the Red Wings in the nightcap. In the PWHL, just one game tonight. It has Toronto in Vancouver. And on the hard court, 8 games total, including the Sixers hosting Houston, Denver in Washington, San Antonio up against Utah, and the Clippers take on LA in a battle of SoCal teams. NFL's MVP finals have been announced from the Associated Press this morning. 4 quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, and Matthew Stafford, flanked by Christian McCaffrey, the Niners running back, this year's finalist. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Josh Yohe from The Athletic, covering the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Reason number 59 why Nissan is built for our winter. Because when winter storms make on-road feel like off-road, we've got you. The Nissan Rogue comes standard with intelligent all-wheel drive and remote engine start to conquer even the harshest winter conditions. Right now, you can lease a 2026 Rogue S for 0.9% for 36 months. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for more details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring graders, forklifts, wheel loaders, man lifts, mini excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, plus commercial trailers and sea cans. Info at maauctions.com.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auctions are next Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Program 10 o'clock in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report. Brought to you by Fountain Tire. Again, at Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. From tires and wheels to oil changes, vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome in Josh Yohe from The Athletic, covers the Pittsburgh Penguins. Morning, Josh. You're with Kevin Karius once again, and the former NHLer Ladislav Schmid. Thanks for coming on Sports 1440 again. We really appreciate it, Josh.
Oh, my pleasure.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Before we get to the nuts and bolts and everything of what we're going to see tonight here in Edmonton, what was your thoughts on last night's 4-1 win? Penguins get it done in Calgary.
Well, first of all, I'm about to get on a plane to Edmonton, and I just saw what the temperature is going to be tonight, so I'm actually afraid to come.
Do you want me to tell you what the temperature is?
You have to in Fahrenheit, though. Fahrenheit.
Okay, well,
Celsius.
I will tell you right now, Josh, it's minus 25 in Celsius.
When you say it's in Celsius, it doesn't scare me as much,
So we're looking at about minus 18 or so in Fahrenheit.
Well, you know what? I'll just be a man and get through it anyway.
Pardon me, minus 13. That's the.
Oh, boy.
There's a walkway from JW to the Rogers, so you don't have to go outside.
Right. That is correct.
Yeah. So you're going to be here in time then?
I will indeed. Yes.
So.
Yes, I will. As for the game last night, I mean, listen, the Flames are not the most potent offensive team. I think that goes without saying. But the Penguins, without Chris Letang and Erik Karlsson, they're two best defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, those aren't the greatest defensive players in the world, but still, they held the Flames to 19 shots on goal. Just a smothering defensive performance. And the Penguins just continue to play high-level hockey. I know when the Oilers saw them last month in Pittsburgh, that was not the case. The Penguins were really in a funk in most of December, especially with Evgeny Malkin out of the lineup. But they've been quite a story. They really have, and they are playing their best hockey of the season. They're 9-2-2 since the holiday break. And it's not something I anticipated entering this season, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Laddie kind of has a tougher question regarding Karlsson and Letang. Go ahead, Laddie.
I was always intrigued. I just always wanted to ask somebody who was around the team. Do you think getting Karlsson was a mistake in the long run? Do you think it affected Letang's performance? Or is it something that people more like build up in their heads?
It's a great question. I'll start with the second part of the question. I do think it's affected Letang's performance. Letang's not having a good season. In the first 3 months, he was really bad for him. I will say, with Karlsson out of the lineup, Letang didn't play last night, but Letang played 4 games recently when Karlsson was out with an injury, and they were the best 4 games Letang's played all season. Not even close. Now, why that is, I don't know if it's a psychological thing, if he wants to show, hey, I'm still the guy, look what I can still do, even though you brought in Erik Karlsson to take over the power play. Maybe that's it. Maybe he just feels a sense of responsibility with Karlsson out. Like, I've got to be the guy. I've got to play 25 minutes. I don't know why, but it's undeniable that he's played his best hockey with Karlsson out. Now, as for Karlsson, I would have answered your question, yes, without question, if you had asked me a few months ago, because his first 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, especially last season, were just terrible. I remember the game he played in Edmonton last season. I think it was in October. He was horrible. It was painful to watch. Now, I will give Karlsson credit. He has been very good this season. I mean, he has been so much better in the defensive zone. I don't know if it's because he's priming up for the Olympics or if Dan Muse has made that much of a difference as his coach. He's been a different guy this season. But in the big picture, has he made that much of a positive impact in Pittsburgh? No, not really.
So I have another question. So do you think now would be the right time to trade him when his value is really high? He's having a good season, or like because Pittsburgh is in a good position in the playoffs, you would keep him? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I might try to trade him this summer if somebody wanted him. But I feel like the Penguins are in second place in the Metro now.
Yeah.
They have a real chance to make the playoffs. Nobody expected it. I think there would almost be a sense of betrayal to Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin if you trade Erik Karlsson when you're maybe 35 games away from making it to the postseason. If you do that and then you don't make the playoffs, boy,
yeah,
I don't know how Kyle Dubas looked Sidney Crosby in the eye after the season. It just means so much to Crosby and Malkin to make the playoffs together one last time at least. And it means a lot to the city of Pittsburgh too, and it's been such of a fun season. I just don't think I would do it. Now, this summer, that's a different story. If you can get real value for him, I don't know that you have to do it. The Penguins have over $50 million in cap space this summer, so it's not like a financial problem, but I would entertain it at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh Yohe with us on Sports 1440. As you said, with Karlsson and Letang out, what are we looking at for an ETA? And you also mentioned the Olympics, obviously, with Karlsson, Josh.
Yeah, they're both Letang's day-to-day. I don't know what his injury is. He's day-to-day is all we know. I guess there's a chance he could play tonight. Karlsson is on the trip. He's actually practiced without the no-contact jersey the last couple of days. Again, I guess it's conceivable he could play tonight, too. I don't want to say either have been ruled out. But given that the Penguins just won in Seattle and Calgary, and they're 2-0 on the trip, they finished the trip in Vancouver on Sunday, and you know how much they've struggled. There's almost a sense of, gee, the second night of a back-to-back in Edmonton, that's a tough one anyway. Like, if we go 3-1 on the trip, that's okay. Maybe not rushing Karlsson and Letang back this quickly. That's my guess. That there's a real chance neither will play tonight. Obviously, the makeshift blue line did very well last night. Calgary doesn't have anybody wearing number 97 on their roster, so that changes things. Obviously, with the matchup this evening, there's a chance they could play, but I don't know that they'll rush it, given that it's only been 24 hours since they last played.
Well, sometimes the team, when you're missing your two best defensemen, they tied it up. They play a really good defensive game. So yeah, I understand that. I want to ask you about Stu Skinner. How has he been since coming from Edmonton?
He has been terrific. He was not good his first 2 or 3 games, and you guys saw it when the Oilers played in Pittsburgh, and they beat him up pretty good. And Stu told me the other day, and what a delightful guy he is, by the way.
He's a nice guy.
Everybody in Pittsburgh loves this guy already. Just a wonderful gentleman. He told me the other day, he said, I really just needed that Christmas break to take a deep breath and to see my wife and to figure out where I was going to find a house in Pittsburgh, stuff like that. And he said, I just needed to take a deep breath, basically. And since then, he's been 6-1 in the 7 games since then. He's only allowed 11 goals in his past 7 games. His rebound control has been sensational. He has played really, really well, and he has essentially become the number 1 goaltender in Pittsburgh. Artur Shilovs is a talented guy. You're probably going to see him tonight. He's a pretty athletic guy. He hasn't been bad, but he's the backup at this point. And the Penguins have a young man from Russia named Sergei Murashov, who's really, really talented. He's playing in Wilkes-Barre right now. It's a matter of time, I think, before he becomes the guy, probably next year at some point. But for right now, Skinner's the guy, and he's earned it.
Were you surprised the starting assignments this week that Dan Muse implemented, that maybe we thought we would see Stu Skinner play here tonight?
A little bit, and also that would have set up Shilovs playing in his return to Vancouver. So that was interesting. I don't know that maybe Skinner wanted to play in Edmonton. I don't know. I asked him about his return to Edmonton the other day, and he was a little uncomfortable about it. He, I think he knows that there's a segment of the fan base that kind of held him responsible for some of the things that went wrong in the playoffs. And he had nothing bad to say about it. It's his hometown, for heaven's sake. He loves Edmonton. But, some guys aren't comfortable. Like, I can tell you, John Gibson is from Pittsburgh. He absolutely hates playing in Pittsburgh. And he always plays very poorly. Marc-Andre Fleury did not always play in Pittsburgh when his, Vegas or whoever would come back to Pittsburgh. And he said, those are my friends. I don't like playing against them. It's not comfortable for me. So I don't know if Skinner wanted to play in this game necessarily, but I think the bigger thing is he's starting to see the bulk of the playing time because he has basically graduated to being their number one goaltender at this point.
Well, I'm gonna have one more question, probably the last one that that doesn't have Sidney Crosby in it. Brett Kulak, how has he been? Because I kind of miss him on our decor in Edmonton. I was a little surprised when he got traded too, because I thought he did a tremendous job here over the last, 3-4 years that he's been here. How has it been in Pittsburgh? Sorry.
He was a little shaky the first few games. He took way too many penalties. He has settled down since then, and he's been quite good. And the biggest thing he has done, he has been a perfect defense partner for Chris Letang. He has made Letang better. There's no question that from the second they started playing together, Letang has really cut down on all the mistakes he was making. So he just has kind of an understated, subtle way about him, Kulak. You don't even notice him some games, and I mean that in a good way.
That's what you want from a defenseman. Sorry.
That's right. That's right, and that's sometimes the problem with Letang and Carlson. You notice them too much.
Yeah.
But no, Kulak has really been a steadying presence. He's done a very nice job, and like Skinner, a really good guy. I mean, just both of these guys have fit into the locker room so well.
Nice. Watching the game last night and seeing Geno Malkin play at the level he's playing at, what's impressed you the most about Malkin's play this year, Josh?
Boy, listen, he's putting up over a point per game. He turns 40 in July, so that speaks for itself. But he's really cut down on some of the mistakes that he makes. Geno would always put up his points, but he would also always take bad penalties and turn the puck over left and right. He's not doing that stuff anymore. He's really playing a smarter brand of hockey in his own way, and he has so much energy right now. Like, his skating is better now than it was the last couple of years. And I can tell you, Kyle Dubas and Penguins management, I know for a fact that they really were not intending on giving him a new contract after this season. I think the thinking was he was going to retire, and we've got to get younger at some point. And now I wonder. Malkin's representatives are going to meet with Dubas during the Olympic break. I know Malkin wants to come back for at least one more season. It's going to be hard for Dubas not to bring him back. He doesn't want that much money. He's still a point-per-game player. He was pretty dominant against Calgary last night. This is the best he's played in years.
Tristan Jarry is going to go for the Oilers tonight in this one. I
assumed.
Yeah, you know what? We weren't sure. I'll tell you what. I wasn't sure, to be honest with you, Josh, because, just listening to Chris Knobloch with his post-game comments after the Devils game, where Jarry was pretty good. I'm sure you saw that big save that he made. But he was saying we're going to implement him a little slower in back-to-backs. So I think a lot of people weren't exactly sure. And then again, with the assumption that Stu isn't going to start tonight, I think maybe people were thinking maybe Ingram might go. So, but it's going to be Jarry tonight. So maybe just a thought on what Jarry's meant to the franchise. And would you say that this was just good for both goalies, a change of scenery?
Oh, absolutely. I can speak of Jarry more than I can Skinner. Tristan has a lot of talent. I always say, in terms of pure physical talent, he's a top 10 goalie in the NHL. I really believe that. Tristan's problem, like so many goaltenders, just a lack of consistency. He would usually be very good in the first half of the season and fade down the stretch. And I know this is going to sound familiar for Oilers fans. This is kind of why the trade was almost amusing to me on some level. But Jarry, in big games, usually isn't very good. And now Oilers fans always say, well, he didn't play that many big games. I said, well, that's true. He's only played 8 playoff games, I think it is. But even in big regular season games and in big moments in regular season games, he would get tight. He wasn't clutch. That was always the issue for him. You knew he was talented, but you felt like you couldn't always trust him. But sometimes when a guy gets moved and the guy matures a little bit, which I think Jerry has a lot in the last couple of years, good things can happen. So it was a worthy risk. He certainly has the talent, and Edmonton's goaltending doesn't always need to be great. You just need it to be steady sometimes, right? When you're scoring goals the way they can. So he was the classic guy who needed a change of scenery. He probably needed it a couple of years ago. And I know he loves Edmonton. I know he has a deep affection for Alberta. So yeah, it was a worthy risk, I would say.
Hey, Josh, thanks so much for your time. I know you got to catch a flight. We'll see you down at the game tonight. We'll see you down at Rogers. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Okay.
Josh Yohe from The Athletic covers the Pittsburgh Penguins on his way to the Chuck. That's the Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, we focus on one thing. It's your vehicle. Also have the digital vehicle report. Check them out at fountaintire.com today.
Not one question about Sidney Crosby.
We did. We talked about Sid at the start.
Yeah, you and me, not with him.
Well, what do you want?
Oh, just
You want me to ask him a question about Sid?
No, just
we talked about Sid at the top of this, right at the very beginning.
No, the moment has passed.
Oh, do you want me to get? Do you want to call him back here?
No, it's fine.
You had the opportunity too.
I ask questions about the defense. You're the forward guy.
Yeah, listen,
Duke.
now
Thank
listen.
you.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
no.
Thank
Like,
you.
I
Thank you.
mean,
he's stuttering.
No, I'm not. How about this? Matt and Leduc texted in.
Somebody, you said you had questions for me.
We don't have time for it right now.
Oh.
But
mismanaging the questions.
No, he says Eddie gets a way better intro than Laddie. Eddie gets the former Grey Cup champion all-decade team tackle Eddie Steele. For Laddie, it's former NHLer Ladislav Schmid.
Well, are we comparing CFL and NHL? Okay. All right, guys. It would be NFL and NHL.
Okay, you want this question? You're going to get it right now.
I like Eddie, and he had a tremendous career.
You guys get along well.
Yeah.
You guys eat about the same amount when we went out
Well,
for dinner.
next time I want to be sitting next to Eddie.
You want to sit to Eddie? What?
Yeah, well.
Why?
Because he's like, I think I have more in common with him than with you. We are ex-professional athletes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll give you that.
Did I hurt his feelings? Sorry, Kevin.
Josh in St. Albert.
I want Eddie from one side and you on the other side. Duke
was beside you last time, and the two of you were talking about your parfait Sundays and stuff.
What is he talking about, Duke?
Oh, Duke got his little treat that he got for dessert, and Laddie passed on dessert. Oh no, I better have double vegetables too.
I am
no
not
carbs.
passing on another dessert then. Yeah. Okay.
No carbs for me, please. I'll have a double order of vegetables.
Well, then I have to, I can walk shirtless around the house. I don't have to hide in the dark corners like you.
I walk shirtless around the house.
Do you?
Around the neighborhood. I don't.
I know that. As soon as I said that, I was like, okay, you're always shirtless. Okay, what is the question?
Here it is from Josh in St. Albert. Question for Laddie. Is Schaefer the best D-man to come into the league since Makar?
Yes.
Yes. There you go. I'll be honest, again, we talked about this when the Islanders came into town because the Kings came in. St. Louis just recently, too, with Parayko. Kings, Doughty, Parayko. We talked about Theodore. He didn't play didn't play. Makar and Taves, they're pretty well a given because for the Olympic team,
they play together. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
Sanheim came through with Philly. Schaefer was by far the best defenseman out of all that group in the game here. I know it's one game, but he should have been on the Olympic team.
I think you could afford to have one young kid, even if he wouldn't play, but you're preparing him. But I think he deserves it, man. Like, yeah. And what are we talking? Since Makar came to the league. So that's Lane Hudson, Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
I think based on the first year, I don't think neither of those guys had a first year like Schaefer is having. And not just point wise or like the impact what he's having on the entire organization and how the team is responding to having a guy like that.
Yeah.
Like all of the players are already playing much better hockey. Like Barzal, Horvat. Like you feel like that spark again. Like it gives you that impulse. Like sometimes you need a change the coach to get the impulse and you get a basically a franchise player. Well, it is a franchise player, and it gives you that same kind of spark. I love seeing that.
Two things that's happened to the blue line in Long Island. Pellick and Pullock have now separated. Now you can afford them separated.
Which is nice. You're deep now again.
And no one even remembers Noah Dobson, do they?
No.
There you go.
And he's a good player.
Sure he is.
He is a good player, but he's not Schaefer.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to go in or out with Ladislav Schmid on the Kevin
Gotta
Karius
read.
Show. The Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick.
Food question?
And Mackenzie the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing. Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
It's the place Honda. It's the place for service too. I love my Honda taste. Would you buy? Would you buy? Would you buy?
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1023 in Edmonton. Ladislav Schmid, Kevin Karius with you. Cast of characters, cast of thousands here. On Sports 1440, where now it is time for Are You In or Out?
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Letterbox.
The Edmonton Oilers continue their homestand tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Some new line combinations being trotted out at practice yesterday. However, the trio of Ike Howard, Matt Savoy, and Jack Roslovic remains intact, and this group's been good last little bit. I've liked what I've seen from them. They have earned the right to get an extended look to possibly solve the Oilers' third line issues.
I'm not 100% in on
Sold.
this one. You are sold. You're in?
No, I'm not sold on
yeah.
it entirely.
So I'm out on the question as it comes to us, Duke. If you look at
the wording,
yeah, well, extended look.
Yeah.
The reason why, again, 11-7 tonight, with no Leon, Kasperi Kapanen is on the optional. He's taking a skate today. Who knows? I doubt it if he goes, but we'll see. When the lines were changing as far as implementation, rotating on Tuesday night, it started out with Roslovic wasn't the first center. It was actually Ryan Nugent-Hopkins between Howard and Savoy. And then they moved it around. Trent Frederick came in, and he was the next. Yeah. He was in the next rotation. Then it was Roslovic. Then it was Roslovic again. Then they got into the trouble there with Colson being gone for 17 minutes. So I'm going to be out as the question pertains. I mean, we're going to see him tonight. The one thing that I did notice with Ike Howard on Tuesday, 2 or 3 times he cheated for offense, plays along the boards where he was.
That's got to be his game. Like,
I know,
he's naturally a top 6 forward. So, and
can't afford it, laddie.
I know you can't afford it, but so what is the solution here? I don't think he's a bottom 6 forward.
But if it's a bottom 6 line, like this line, does it come across as a bottom 6 checking line or is a bottom 6 scoring line? Right. And so
you don't need bottom 6 scoring line. You have to.
The Oilers sure do.
No, I think, Laddie, if Duke's saying.
How many goals have the bottom 6 scored this year?
If Duke's saying is the third line.
I know, but you, as Edmonton Oilers, you don't necessarily need bottom 6 scoring line. You have top 2 when Leon is back. Yeah. Those 2 lines can score. You don't need that.
You got to have some, Laddie.
Okay. You like a little bit, but I would rather have a shutdown line, energy line. In my opinion, so what are we doing here? We gonna go to the playoffs and what?
Duke is under the assumption here.
Thing.
He's under the assumption here that it's going to be Podkolzin, Leon, and Kapanen.
Yeah, second line.
That's it, right? Yeah. So this is where he's saying is a third line. Give him a spin. Give him an extended look. At times when they are together, they're not that big, the 3 of them, right? So
exactly.
That's but what you're saying,
if I'm building the team, I don't need third line that's gonna be scoring shitload of goals. Sorry. I want a bigger line, and I want an energy line. I want a line that you can put against anybody if you need to rest and give a little bit better matchup to the first and second line.
But we know that's not how Chris Knobloch deploys his players. His second line of Draisaitl, Kapanen, and Podkolzin, it is everything you just said. It is big. They take on a lot of the toughest checking assignments over the course of the season. And yes, they can score as well. It has Leon Draisaitl on it, as you'd expect it to do.
You gotta go with small line like that in the playoffs. You're gonna get eaten alive. And not maybe. We've seen it before. We've seen this scenario before. That's why we couldn't win the Stanley Cup. Sorry.
That's my opinion. The current players that are available to them, I think this is the best deployment. Now, does that change if they go out and make a splash at the deadline and bring in a scoring winger and all of a sudden Nuge can be your third line center? I mean, hey, he's not the biggest guy either. He's obviously great defensively, a 2-way player, but it's not like you're bringing in AJ or Michael McCarron to play.
No, but I'm saying there needs to be changes. I feel like it's as it is right now. I told you this before. I don't have the same feeling about this team like I had the previous years. We got smaller. We got smaller.
And, I mean, that's been conversation all year.
I get what you're saying, but for me, that line you just name, I don't think that's the line that's suitable for Stanley Cup contender and pushing for a Stanley Cup. Sorry.
All right.
I just don't see it. And I think they're all good players. They're skilled players, but their time will come. But I don't think Howard is a third line guy. he's a top 6 guy for me. Like he doesn't bring what you.
But
need
I don't
from
think
your
he's
third
not good enough to play in the top 6.
And I get it, but I don't think he's like that's what you need in the third line. Sorry.
No, that's all fine. Moving on to a simple game prediction for tonight. The Oilers continue their little bit of a roller coaster of a season. Still haven't won 3 games consecutive, but an offensive explosion on the weekend, an offensive deficiency earlier this week when Jake Allen shut them down in the third period. I think it'd be a close one tonight, and the under, which is currently set at 6.5 goals total in the game, is what will cash in.
Going to go for an offensive explosion tonight.
Yeah?
Duke. Offensive explosion.
All right.
I'll go over 4-3 overtime. There you go.
I think it's gonna depend, like based on how they play yesterday without Letang and Carlson, tight defensively. They didn't give up, and I get it. Edmonton Oilers totally different animal than Calgary, but I believe like when you're missing some of your top players, that the team plays a different game. So I'm on Dukes.
Kind of cinch up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in on this one.
And also, I might be out on Oilers overs for a little bit because while their team overs have been hitting on their goal side for the weekend games anyway, giving up none doesn't really help. And especially on Saturday, where I was very high on the overhitting between Edmonton and Vancouver, it was looking good through 2 periods. 6 goals in 1 period, and then not another one for the rest of the game. And I was left sitting there with nothing in my hand saying, well, that's disappointing. That's disappointing.
Same for Sunday.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. 5 rip on that one, but 2 pretty obviously inferior opponents for those 2 games anyway. The opponent side of tonight's contest, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they will likely be without defenseman Erik Karlsson as he continues to work back from injury. Should the Penguins slide before the trade deadline and maybe fall out of the playoff picture or not be right in the thick of it? I know Laddie had a similar question for Josh Yohe last segment. Great minds thinking alike here. I think trading Karlsson while his value is as high as it has been since landing in a Penguins uniform should be the team's top priority.
Well, Laddie, you asked the question, man.
I asked the question. So, like, I really like the answer he gave me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, after the season, like, I didn't think about it like that. So, after the season would be, I guess, the right time. Now I have this kind of answer from him. You know,
we have to remember no movement clause.
Yeah,
but Karlsson,
they should move him in the offseason.
Karlsson is different than the other core pieces on this team, right? In the fact he does not have a Stanley Cup. All 3 of these other guys have 3 on their resume. They have 1. They've reached the pinnacle. Karlsson is still chasing that as a professional hockey player. If he is proposed at the trade deadline to go to a contending team where at a $5 million cap hit for just the next couple of years would be very stomachable.
Pitt's not taking on $5 million for
Kevin,
this
you
year
know how much
next
cap
year?
space they have?
No way, man.
For how much longer? 2 more years?
This year
This
and
year
next.
and next. This year and next. It
That's
would
doable, man.
To get the money held back, you'd need to pay a pretty good ransom, I think, to get him out. But if we're talking about the no trade clause that Karlsson's possessing, I could certainly see him be willing to move it to go to an opportunity to play for a Stanley Cup if the Penguins are not in the thick of it in another, what are we talking, month and a half time.
What are the teams, though, like, who could afford him? And it wouldn't, like, change completely chemistry of the team. Look what it did to Letang. We had it firsthand.
But maybe it's a
affected
team
him.
that needs a little more
Offense.
offensive punch from the back end. And, like,
I'm just thinking
He's not going anywhere.
I think in the offseason it could happen.
I think in the offseason it's much more likely.
Yeah.
And just because of how congested the Eastern Conference is, it's tough to see the Penguins falling hard enough out of it that they're not going to take a run.
What team
at the
scares
playoffs.
you in the East? Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, the only
And
one.
Carolina, maybe.
No,
Okay.
I
are
think
the-
Tampa
Okay.
scares me a little bit.
So you got a good chance to get to the conference final here, man.
Dude, I'm not ruling out Florida still. Like, you never know. You never know with that team. But Tampa Bay is a juggernaut this year.
Yeah,
Like,
they
and they're
to me,
without
they're the best
Hedman
team.
and McDonough. Like,
They're back there and been
Chernak.
super banged
Chernak.
up. Like, look at the roster they had when the Oilers played down there.
I know.
Back in
It's-
was that in late November, whenever.
They only gotta get better.
Didn't even know half the guys that were playing on the team that night.
And
Never
look
heard of them
who's
before.
back in the top 3 in points. Nikita Kucherov.
Good player.
He's just like,
Criminally
out of
underrated.
nowhere. Out of
Criminally
nowhere.
underrated.
Nobody talk about Kucherov. Boom. I just looked the other day. I was like, Cooch is back.
One ahead of Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah, it's like that guy is just all he does is produce points.
Very good.
And then you have Mac and Mac just in their league on their own.
We had our first injury replacement announcement for the upcoming Olympics in Italy, as Seth Jones going to be unable to go for the United States squad. Jackson Lacombe from my Anaheim Ducks. Another big performance from him last night, despite the Ducks getting
a big performance.
Getting mostly worked by the Avalanche for 65 minutes.
You mean not a great performance by Dostal, who was standing on his head.
He was out of his mind last night.
I was watching it. I was like, this is incredible.
It was a lot of fun to watch when he's playing like that. But when I look at Lacombe as this replacement choice, still some more eyebrows getting raised that it was not Lane Hudson being added to the team. The composition of this roster and how the defense is currently built, I think Lacombe is the better choice. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible for a player that I watch on nearly a game-to-game basis.
So you have Quinn Hughes as your number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to run the power play, all that stuff. He's a smaller guy. So if you were bringing Lane Hudson, that you're basically having another guy like that.
And you could to a certain extent put Werenski in a similar category. He's a little bigger, obviously, and is more known for the back end, but offense is still his bread and butter. And if you're talking power play guys, you got Werenski,
so you got 1 and 2. So like I see why they did it. And like, let's be honest, Lane Hudson's season is incredible. Over point a game. But it's such a short-term tournament that, like, honestly, you don't need as many, like, super offensive guys. I believe
Jake Sanderson here too.
Yeah, like you have, like you said, you have Hughes, you have Werenski. They're super offensive guys. They can both score goals. They can run the power play. Then after that, like, you need guys who are more well-rounded. And I'm not saying Lane Hudson is not, but he is a smaller body, and his time will come. I believe in that. But I'm okay with this replacement. So I'm in on this one.
Yeah.
What about you, Kevin?
I'm going to be the same because I
my boy.
Well, here's the thing. We've been talking about Lacombe a long time, Duke and I, and even when you're not around, and the fact that he was actually ahead on the depth chart and was utilized even more when he was at university in Minnesota, where Brock Faber was. Faber came in and had a better start to his NHL career, which was sort of out of the blue, but then signs the big deal, $8 million per season. Now it's Lacombe's turn the next year where he does what Faber did. So I'm okay with it.
Me too.
And
you're happy, hey?
This is a really good blue line. Like you asked Frank the question earlier, Kevin, about how he actually fits in. Is he even going to play? And it's a fair question because this group 1 through 8 is exceptional on the back end. For the
like it's also Slavin, Hanifin, Werenski, Hughes. Like, if you compare Canadian D to American D,
I think the Americans have a way better.
I don't want to say way better, but I think they are better.
Yeah,
you cannot like write off McCarr. Like,
he's the best.
Did you watch him yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, I wanna spend one day in his body playing hockey game.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like a joke? It's like when I go play against Kevin.
Okay,
do you think it's like that?
No.
Use
the line, dude. Go get here's the line.
This is the way you worded that, Laddie. This is back to like our first.
Do you have it on the hot button?
Maybe even I don't have it up right now. The first couple months, Kevin asked Schlemmer the question one time. Is there a player you watch? And the way Kevin said, he's like, you ever just want to slip into a guy's body and just mess around a little bit?
I think you said it before.
I've played it on here 100 times. It's so funny.
Awful.
Great clip.
You said that, eh?
I did, yes.
And did you feel dirty afterwards?
No, I felt
it's
pretty
totally
good.
over his own head. He's oblivious to half the things he says sometimes and what it sounds like to the people listening to it. But that's what makes it entertaining.
Dirty dog.
Lastly, today is National Hot Sauce Day. Laddie, a big fan of the spicier foods. I would put myself in the same camp. If you could only have one bottle of hot sauce in your fridge to use for all purposes. This is chalk. It's cliche, but I think that just a jar of Frank's Red Hot is the most versatile option.
That's tough. I have Valentino. And I have Frank's Hot too.
Depends how hot you want to go, right?
Exactly. I have been recently using the Valentino more, but I'm gonna go with you. The Frank's Hot It's more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably use it on more things.
What about like?
But Valentino, it does the taste.
I do agree. I think it's a better tasting
It's
one.
a better tasting one, but yeah, I'd say Frank's hot is more versatile. Yeah. But I love my hot sauces. Oh,
what about a sriracha? Like a nice sriracha.
But
I use sriracha mostly just for cooking.
Yeah, but we talk about versatile. Like sriracha, I have more with like an Asian cuisine.
Right.
For me.
Mhm.
We just recently bought some teriyaki, spicy teriyaki sauce, like a stick. I put it on my again, Asian cuisine. Like it's so good. It's for my wife is way too hot. But like I just dose it and I sweat like crazy.
Yeah,
sometimes it's almost uncomfortable and not even enjoyable. But
no
I
pain,
do
no
it
gain.
anyway. Yeah, exactly. I just love.
What
spicy.
food do you put it on? Like a lot of people are like automatic, like eggs. You're putting it on eggs in the morning. I don't know.
Sorry.
What?
I hope my wife is listening. She owes me an omelette on Sunday, honey. Okay.
Why?
She offered it to me last week and I turned it down because I was too excited for my like a yogurt granola, like perfectly that I make. But I told her Sunday, please make she makes exceptional omelets. So maybe I'm gonna throw a little hot sauce on.
So if I brought in a little thing of hot sauce, you would take it and put it on. Like this is high potent stuff though. Like I mean, killer. Like one drop. That's all you need.
Bring it.
Okay.
Next. I'm next Thursday.
What? You're not here?
Yeah, I'm here, and then I'm not here the following.
Where are you not? Where are you going again now?
Switzerland.
Oh, really? Another
No,
holiday?
it's actually a job. It's not like a vacation that you go and
I won't see you either.
parading.
Look at that, Duke.
naked.
I'll
or-
be gone too.
You're
Not next Thursday.
He said he's here this like.
Oh,
he's here in a
the
week, but
one
he's not here the
following. Yeah.
following.
Oh, good. Yeah. So it'll be the.
good. So the
Dude.
ratings go to shitter.
It
yeah,
is
but
what it
don't
is.
worry, listeners. We'll be back the week after.
I just sit here, try and keep things
Yeah.
moving along. Plug the clock away until
Well,
you
just
guys make your
exceptional
return.
work, Duke.
Wow, hey.
What a trooper.
I'm just
What
a
is-
team.
I-
I'm
like-
just a team player.
I'm gonna bring the hard hats and the boots here too with the sledgehammer.
And present him with the hardest working producer
Yes.
award every day.
There you go.
Cookies by George. Can you bring a hero cookie here for
For
Duke, please? Nice and warm.
Don't worry, laddie. I'll get all the hero cookies I need tonight on the bus to the Critters game. They come in the
Cookies
form
or
of
beers?
They come in the
Liquid.
form of a yellow buckskin can, Coors Original.
Oh God, I want to throw up. Thank God I don't drink because that's kind of piss. Oh my God.
Well, sorry. Talk to Marty. Tell him to stock the cooler with Pilsner or Kel.
No,
and I'll
not even
drink
that. Like
instead.
I don't know, like Heineken or Stella or whatever. The most.
What's that check?
We don't have it in the
called?
budget.
Pilsner Urquell.
Arco?
That's not in the budget, laddie.
Yeah.
Domestics only.
The steam vessel. Boom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Pilsner.
After a game, though, you want to have a nice Duke. Like when
You
he's
want to
up-
have a nice what?
like
Coors
something-
Light or
well, Duke wants
No,
to
I don't like
quench his thirst.
Coors Light. I prefer Coors Original.
Coors Original.
He wants to
Yellow,
quench
the
his
yellow
thirst.
cans, not the silver bullets.
the only. You know what's Coors Original or Coors Light is perfect for? Beer pong, because you can spill it and nobody cares. It's
Good
like
point.
pissing on the
Hey,
floor.
That's fine.
That's
Not
Well-
that I'm not playing much beer pong at this stage of my life, but you're not
what
wrong.
does it mean? Like stage of your life, but you're 30, no?
Yeah, I'm not rolling into a stranger's house party
Well, while
on Friday
we're on
night.
the topic of this, Coach Al texted in and said, "Ask Laddie if we could ask some female listeners to call in for some sort of a dating game with the Duke."
We talked about it. I am more than happy. Let's have a huge
Proceeds
segment.
to charity.
Exactly. Let's have a huge segment about hooking Duke up with some lovely
Edmonton
female
ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. And area because
Yeah.
a lot of we talked about farming for love.
Yes, it would have to be probably Saskatchewan and northern Alberta.
Why northern Alberta?
Well, we are in the northern
Yeah.
Alberta.
Well, central Alberta.
Central. Yeah, like
Duke's from Delburne, which is central Alberta.
if you go south, like towards Calgary, it's too poshy for you. It would be too.
I
poshy.
agree. I'm
Yeah.
not about Calgary. It's too white collar. for
Yeah,
my life.
exactly. So like I'm trying to set you up with some lovely lady more to your taste. that doesn't have to be necessarily a farmer.
Are you thinking like a Wall Street banker type kind of thing?
No, that's what you get in Calgary.
No, that's Calgary. What are we talking? Like, what kind of job she should be doing?
Probably a nurse.
That would be helpful.
Well, we talked about all the Duke's injuries from the farm already this morning.
You mean the sunburns?
No, those are
his worst injury was a sunburn.
Those are holiday injuries. Those are holiday injuries.
I don't know, man. Yeah, nurse would be. My wife is a nurse.
Huh?
Teachers are great. They get the summers off.
You don't want a teacher. No. Too strict.
They get the whole summer off.
Yeah, too strict.
Come in
next thing you know,
bossing me around.
Yeah, bossing you around.
You know what?
I've been bossed around my whole life. It wouldn't
Listen
change
to
very
this.
much.
Listen to this. Thank God the principal didn't reach me yesterday. It wouldn't be a good conversation. So I get a missed call from school, which I didn't know it was a school. My ex gets the phone call too. She's in Mexico. She got a voicemail. Apparently, our son threw a cheese string in a classroom at somebody, or like didn't even hit anybody. That gets you a phone call from the school. These days, this gets you. Thank God he didn't reach me. If you drive your kids to the school, they're your responsibility. As a teacher, principal, they're your responsibility. So if my son screws up, you hold him accountable. Take him out of the hockey, whatever you need to do. Don't bother me with stuff unless it's a fight and there is blood or something like that. Something significant. Don't bother me. My son throwing a cheese string in a classroom. This is the second time I get a phone call. First time there was like some kind of incident, pushing incident. I wasn't happy to go to the school, but I did it. But I have a belief. My dad had the same belief. He always dropped me off at the practice or at school, and he's like, "Here he is."
But that's not the world we live in anymore.
I don't care. Then change it. That's why everybody's so soft. We talk about, I don't know. I talk to all the parents. Oh, these kids are so soft. This generation is so soft. We are raising them that way. And I get that, like, it's crazy. Don't bother me with the cheese string. I have bigger problems on my plate, day-to-day basis. Cheese string. Dude, so like my son is not having cheese strings anymore. I'm going to hold him accountable. He pissed me off. But like, do you think you should be getting phone call from the school about the cheese string? Or is it the teacher's responsibility? And I'm like, punish him. My dad always said to the teacher, he's your responsibility. You're here. My dad always said to the coaches, you can smack him. And if he comes home and he complains to me, I'm going to smack him from the other side. But I know this is not Canada, or not even in Czech. It's illegal to hit kids now since 2026.
You just keep painting yourself in a corner here, Skip.
guys, I kid you not, they changed the law in Czech. You used to, you were able to smack a kid on the bum. They changed the law in 2026. It is illegal.
Yeah.
And I don't hit my kids. I don't hit. I just yell. I just hit. I just yell super hard.
Not.
No, I just yell super hard.
Gruff texted it and said, "Was the cheese hard cheddar? Could have taken an eye out." He says,
"No, it was a cheese string. Like they bent. They're like a marble cheese string. I didn't even know that he gets cheese strings. I don't think he even eats it. Like he took it from somebody and tossed it."
Your D partner just texted in to me.
What?
He said, "Laddie's on fire." Your D partner for tomorrow.
Oh my God! This just pissed me off. Like, come on. Now the principal. I hope the principal is not listening to this because he's gonna be pissed off and he's gonna take it out on my son. But man, like, come on. Like it's just the childish stuff that we used to do, and nobody even think twice about it. They just discipline us at school, not calling the parents.
All right, we better take a break here.
Yeah, take a break.
Take a break. We'll be back to wrap up the show. And you didn't say anything. Your buddy, that was Struddy.
What
said, "Laddie's on fire." I just said your D partner for tomorrow.
Oh, I told my D partner from Monday.
No. Your D partner for tomorrow for Shorzy.
Yeah, I'm not playing with Struddy. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you guys could be formidable out there, man. Twin Towers.
I'm the third D pair. He's the first D pair.
How does that work?
I tried to laugh. I'm trying to make you laugh. Everybody's laughing. Duke doesn't get it, but whatever.
I had to comprehend it first because I never heard of Struddy on the first D pair. All right, we're back to wrap things up on the Kevin Karius Show with Laddie Schmid, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, Mackenzie the intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and even though it's a few months past Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks right now. This is the time of year when so many people go to the new RV show and buy their new RVs.
All the new RV stores are bragging about the latest makes and models.
That's right, Bob. Those beautiful state-of-the-art RVs are brand new right up until the time they leave the showroom. Then they're used. Just like every quality used RV on our lot. Somebody pays full price at the RV show or at the new RV store, and in a matter of seconds, it's worth tens of thousands of dollars less just because they picked it up.
Where does all that money go, Rick?
It stays in our customers' pockets, Bob, because we sell those same RVs just a few years later. If it wasn't for new RV buyers, we'd be out of business. That's why we give thanks every year. You make it all possible.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
NHL. You could score.
Oh, man, so many great texts coming in. Kevin Karius, Ladislav Schmid. To wrap things up here, Coach Al said 2 minutes for cheese string. Penalty. Oh, man, oh, man.
Yes. Sorry, guys, about the rant, but
No, that's
it had
fine.
to be said.
Yeah.
Probably the whole school hates my son.
No. Jumping Jack flashes. Laddie's killing me. He's right. One number, he's right. Number 2, please run for the school board.
No, I'm in trouble already now.
Oh,
My wife's
no.
gonna give it to me.
No.
I'm gonna get a phone call later.
I was just showing you the video because it was brought up to me.
Oh man, this is like
it's Bill Guerin at training camp in Dallas after he left here in Edmonton.
I want to laugh, but I feel bad for the kid. He
Yeah.
almost chopped his head off.
A guy by the name of Brett Draney came up to training camp 25 years ago. I might be off by a year or so.
Yeah.
To Dallas Stars camp. He played Medicine Hat. He's a BC guy. And he poked the horns with Billy Garrett and you saw the video, laddie, and you can't believe it.
They couldn't believe it. But you believe it because it's 25 years ago. There were some murders on the ice back then, but that's crazy.
If I recall, and I haven't done anything, I just looked at the video here. I think it was under investigation a little bit by the league. So
Was
think
it?
about if you did this in a game. This was just camp. So
Dude,
there was no supplemental discipline or nothing like this.
In the game, this would be what, 10, 15 games?
More than that.
More than that, probably 25.
Yeah, he might get half a season. If he did what he did in a game.
Well, he could have broke his vertebrae.
Yeah. Well, among other things. If people get a chance to have a look at it, it's not easy to find on the internet, but I ended up finding it.
But Billy Guerin, when you hear him talk, he's such a lovable. I had a conversation with him when Dougie Wade had his jersey Ring of Honor. Yeah. He was here and he talked to me, and I was like, "Oh, Billy Guerin is talking to me. Like, I respect him a lot. He's a hell of a career, right? Like, he was the beast out there."
Well, they had fun. I got a real quick story. Him and Bill Heward were in a hotel room, and they upgraded to a suite. This is a long time ago, and they had a hot tub in the room. And Bill Heward, this is what the Oilers, was in the hot tub, and the room service guy come in with all the food and whatever, and they had Bill Guerin had the house coat on with his cigar and everything.
Cigar?
Yeah, cigar. Now the food comes in, and Heward says loud enough, well, for the room service guy, he says, "Hurry up, honey, the water's getting cold." And Billy G was like, no, he's just kidding. So funny story. Good show, laddie. You're getting everyone's on your side here.
Thanks, except for the schooling system.
For the dreaded cheese string incident.
Yeah, schooling system in Alberta is against Laddie. But we love you. We appreciate your hard work. But calling about the cheese string is a little too far, guys.
Hey, have a great, have fun tomorrow night with the Shoresy game.
I'll try. I hope Strutty gets a good night's sleep. Shauna, lay off him. I know it's hard to stay away from him, so he needs that extra energy that he usually spends on you. Okay, just leave him alone tonight.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Okay, see you, boys.
Maybe tomorrow night, whatever.
Okay.
Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Ross Shep T-Bird.
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne, 12 to 2, the lowdown with Alan Mitchell, 2 till 6. Jason Greger drives us home. We've got the pre-game show with Andrew Walker, who's making a special guest appearance this afternoon at Argyle Arena, Duke. He'll be with us this afternoon, too. So puck drop 7:05-ish, 7:07 post-game show to follow. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 to close out the week. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by First Round, where Sundays got even better. You could win an NFL helmet, the jersey, enjoy the Pro Bowl brunch for the divisional games, AFC and NFC CLAD, only at Edmonton's NFL headquarters, First Round, downtown or on Bourbon Street. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks for the great text. Thanks for being a part of the show. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a terrific rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they host the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight at Rogers Place. Puck drop coming just after 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage beginning right here on Sports 1440 at 6. Tristan Jarry expected to make the start against his old club for the Oilers. Elsewhere around the NHL, 7 other games, including Vegas in Boston. The Habs host the Sabres. Carolina taking on the Blackhawks. Stars play the Blue Jackets. Senators in Nashville. Jets host the Panthers. And the nightcap, Detroit in Minnesota against the Wild. In the PWHL, 1 game this evening, which has Toronto on the West Coast against Vancouver. And in the association, 8 games total, including the Sixers hosting Houston, Denver in Washington, Utah taking on the Spurs, and the Lakers and Clippers go at it from SoCal at 8 o'clock. NFL award finalists announced this morning for the AP's MVP. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, and Matt Stafford are the finalists. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440.